Paul Michaels, he has had a dynamite year. I think he ought to be the leading candidate with Jack Patera for Coach of the Year. These guys have brought a bunch of young players with a lot of enthusiasm, made them execute well, and they are in contention. You can't ask for any more than that, Charlie.
We've got a great ball game this afternoon. The New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns, they both look for a chance at the playoffs. The executive producer of NFL 78 is Don Omeyer. Today's show was produced by Don McGuire, directed by Steve Rosen. Technical director Sal Nagita. Associate director Barry Buda. Coming up next, the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. This afternoon, the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. It is cold in Cleveland. Wind chill factor minus 10 degrees. Don Cockcroft will be kicking off. These are the playoff contenders. Pittsburgh is in the playoffs, and look who is left. New England, Denver, Miami, Houston, the Jets, Oakland, Seattle, Cleveland, and San Diego. Some decisions will be made this afternoon. One could well be made right here. Darnell Powell to the 33-yard line. So the Jets will now start on offense with a backfield. Matt Robinson at quarterback. Scott Durking and Kevin Long are the two running backs.
And, Charlie, when you take a look at a Matt Robinson, he's picked up right where Richard Todd left off. It leads you to feel that, hey, there must be a lot of things going on for these two young quarterbacks to play as well as they have. I think excellent coaching, and take a look at these two tackles. I mean, Powell and Ward are something exceptional. There are a couple guys from SC and Ohio State that learned how to pass block, that go about 270, 275, and really allow a young quarterback the time he needs to learn. And I think with every week, Robinson and Todd get to respect those two outside people more and more and more.
You're talking about the offensive line for the Jets with Chris Ward, Randy Rasmussen, Joe Fields, Dan Alexander, and Marvin Powell. Here are the receivers, Wesley Walker, Derek Gaffney, and Jerome Barkham.
We mentioned enough about them early, Charlie. You're going to see a lot of them. When conditions are as they are today, slidey, icy, cold, everybody will be holding on to their hands as much as they can. The Jets offense is throwing the ball. They're still going to have to do that. And it may not be too tough once they get it underway.
Now, first down, Jets, 33-yard line. Kevin Long, 37-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6. Clay Matthews makes the tackle. Now, let's go back to what you were talking about a moment ago. Chris Ward and Marvin Powell, the offensive tackles.
Well, I think very simply, it takes a great tackle, and you don't find very many, quite a while to learn how to be great, how to handle those excellent people on defense, the outside defensive ends. They have two of them. I think it'll allow them to operate better today.
2nd and 6. Kevin Long, the remaining back. Robinson, pump fake. Ball is knocked away. Jets recover it. Mike St. Clair knocked it away. Marvin Powell fell on it, and I believe the officials will rule it an incomplete pass. That will be the call. Back to the line of scrimmage to 37. It will be 3rd down and 6. Here's what happens to a young quarterback on a very cold afternoon.
Well, actually, Robinson had enough time if the secondary hadn't covered his receivers very well. Let's take a look at Chris Ward. You see, now, Mac Mitchell's a pretty good pass rusher. He just runs him by the pile, allows Matt to stand in there. That time he got beat from the inside.
3rd and 6. Ball game just underway. Minus 10 degrees. Field is frozen. Pass is on target. First down, fumble. Cleveland has the football. Ron Bolton picks up the fumble. The Browns with an early break.
I'll tell you, that ball could not have been thrown better. You hear about Walker and Gaffney. He split the zone just perfectly. Darden was a little deep. Good hit just as he caught the ball. Let's take a look. Here's Robinson back to throw. Good protection. puts it right on the money to Walker. Here comes Tony Peter over, gets a piece of the ball, as cold as it is. It's just a little slick for him now. Bolton picks it up, makes a big turnover for the Browns, and they've got it in good field position.
So Cleveland goes to work with Brian Sipe at quarterback. He gives to Greg Pruitt. Pruitt slipping and sliding for 10 and a first down. He goes from the 31 of the Jets to the 20. It's the first down. Burgess Owens makes the tackle. Here's that backfield with Sipe, Pruitt, and Cleo Miller.
Well, obviously, their personality is getting more to be Brian Sipe, but Greg Pruitt has been the man for them over the past 4 or 5 years. They gear everything they do to him, and I think a lot of the reason that Cleveland isn't in excellent position contention-wise now is because Pruitt's missed so many games.
First down at the Jets' 20-yard line. No score. A minute, 50 seconds into the ball game. Cleo Miller to around the 13-yard line. It'll be second mark at the 14-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. Here are the receivers for Brian Sipe: Dave Logan, Reggie Rucker, Ozzie Newsome, the rookie tight end.
They don't have a great one yet, Charlie, but they may have in Ozzie Newsome. He's a tight end. When you find one with his ability, he'll be more of the offense in years to come. Reggie Rucker and Logan are good.
Second down, 4. Pruitt. First down. 7-yard line. It'll be first down and goal to go.
Tell you, Robert Jackson and Barry Darrow just did their job. If they handle the defensive front three for the Jets, it could be a good day for Cleveland and a long one for the Jets.
Offensive line: Doug Deacon, Henry Shepard, Tom DeLeon, Robert E. Jackson, and Barry Darrow. First down, goal to go, 7-yard line. Pruitt, 5-yard line. A gain of a couple, and it'll be second down, goal to go. Burgess Owens was there, Lawrence Pillars was there, and Schaefer Suggs was the man who made first contact. Defensive front three for the Jets: Lawrence Pillars, Abdul Salam, and Joe Klecko.
Salam, very active, very strong. Joe Klecko went into a little lull in the middle of the season. He's now playing up to his form. They need to have a big game out of these two with Lawrence Pillars. They're going to mean a lot for the Jets.
You know, Klecko is always out a couple of hours before the ball game. First Jet on the field. Not today. It was too cold. Second down, goal to go for Cleveland. Trying to cash in on Ron Bolton's fumble recovery. Straight shot, Cleo Miller. Around the 2-yard line, where it'll be third down and goal to go. Abdul Salam was there for the Jets, along with almost everybody else. Here are the linebackers: Larry Keller, John Hennessy, Mark Merrill. Again replacing, third week in a row, Mike Hennigan and Bob Martin on the right side.
When you talk about Hennig and Buttle going down, they've got a lot of young linebackers playing. They're playing the kind of defense where when you use 4 linebackers, you've got pre-assigned duties for them to do. They've got to be aggressive. They've got to be active. These guys are that.
At the 2-yard line, third down, goal to go. Calvin Hill is in. Excellent receiver. 5 touchdowns, all receiving. Newsome in motion. Calvin Hill into the end zone, but a flag is down. It is against the Jets. Calvin Hill puts the Browns in front. 31 yards of the drive, 6 plays.
Not very often has Cleveland run the ball 45 yards without putting it in the air at some time during a drive. They were able to do so. Their offensive line just controlled the front three for the Jets. They've got 6 on the board. Big break for Cleveland early.
Dave Logan to hold Don Cothroft, who has split the uprights 32 of 34 times for an extra point. It is good. The score: Cleveland 7, the New York Jets nothing. We have 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. We're in the first quarter. The average just a shade over 5 yards of play, and as you pointed out, John Brody, all on the ground.
And, you know, there's something that's been a real turnaround here. Brian Sipe has put over 100 points on the board in the last 3 games, plus this drive. And when you do that, you're doing something offensively correct. Sam said he thinks Jim Schaffner is mainly responsible along with the offensive coaches. His players are together now. He wishes the season was starting over.
Don Cockcroft kicking off to either Bruce Harper or Darnell Powell. 16-yard line. It is Bruce Harper, the return specialist for the Jets. New York will have excellent field position again at their own 33-yard line. Clay Matthews, the rookie linebacker from USC, makes the tackle for the Browns. We've got a score in. The Giants leading St. Louis 3-0 on a field goal. First quarter of that ball game. What's the weather in New York? Anybody know? Is it as cold as it is here?
I don't think it's over 50.
The Jets go to work from their own 33. They trail in the ball game. Scott Durking. Durking picks up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker, along with Earl Edwards, make the tackle. Here is the defensive line for Cleveland. Mike St. Clair, Earl Edwards. You played with Earl.
Well, Earl is having his best year right now, Charlie. You know, Jerry Shirk's been a mainstay for a long period of time. On the outside, St. Clair and Mitchell are doing an adequate job. They aren't getting the pass rush they'd like, but they're playing very steady.
2nd and 5. Durkee, long with the block. Durkee will come up about a yard shy of the first down. Again, it was Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker, who made the tackle. Durkee from Purdue has a 4.6-yard average. Here are the linebackers. Charlie Hall, he's so good you never hear about him. They don't go at him at all. Dick Ambrose and Clay Matthews, the rookie.
And they also have another rookie coming in next year, Robert Jackson, who is just like Clay Matthews. They've got their strongest position as linebacker.
And you'll see Robert L. Jackson when they go to a 3-4. Kevin Long, first down. He'll go close to the 45, where Oliver Davis and Tom Darden were there. Here's the secondary. Ron Bolton, he's starting for the first time in 6 weeks. He had a broken forearm. Oliver Davis, Tony Peters, and Tom Darden, who has 9 interceptions.
And I think Tom Darden not only is having his best year, but probably as good as any in the league. The rest of the defensive secondary is very good, but they're going to have their hands full before this day's over.
Cleveland leading in the ball game, 7-0. Ron Bolton with a fumble recovery of Wesley Walker. Kevin Long to the 50-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Clay Matthews and Earl Edwards make the tackle. Now, Matthews is starting at defensive right linebacker in place of Gerald Irons for a couple of reasons. One is that Irons is bothered by a toe injury. Main reason, he was the #1 draft choice. He's from USC, and he is good.
And they want to see more of him.
Durking, a couple of yards.
And I'll tell you, Clay Matthews made a play right then that you can't teach. He just shot down the line, got Durking by the back of the leg from behind before he'd made more than a yard. Maybe that's why he's playing.
Dallas leading Philadelphia 7-0. Scott Laidlaw from a yard out. They mark it at the Cleveland 49-yard line, so it's 3rd down and actually around 4 to go. Robinson throws over the head of Scott Durkee. The Brown defense holds. Charlie Hall had the defensive coverage, and that means that Chuck Ramsey will come in to kick.
And Charlie Hall was left all alone on Durking because you have to put somebody man-to-man on someone else. They're doing all they can to cover up for Wesley Walker deep. Darden's not going to give those linebackers much help, and Charlie Hall was up to it that trip.
Haskell Standback scored the touchdown for Atlanta as they lead Washington. Chuck Ramsey with a 41-yard average, 3rd in the conference. Joe Fields is the center. We point that out because it is a bad field. Keith Wright, the return specialist. It is snowing. The wind is whipping around. Wind chill factor is -10. Fielded at the 13-yard line by Keith Wright of Memphis State. And he is down in the neighborhood of the 21 or the 22-yard line. A kick of 36 yards. Cleveland 7, New York, nothing. 6:58 time remaining, first quarter. Nebraska to Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, John.
Well, being a Tommy Osborne, it's tough enough to beat Oklahoma once. Now you have to go over and do it all over again. I know he's not looking forward to it, but he'll really prove his bid if he does it.
Remember what Arkansas did to them last year. Arkansas, by the way, in the Fiesta Bowl against UCLA Christmas Day on NBC. Cleveland now from their own 22-yard line. Greg Pruitt. See where they mark him out of bounds. Be around the 26-yard line. John Hennessy was chasing him. So it'll be second down and around 6 to go for Greg Pruitt. Schaefer Suggs on the sidelines trying to stay warm.
He's got no case.
I got a report from New York City. It is 31 and clear. In Cleveland, it is -10 with a wind chill factor and snow flurries. Brian Sipe from San Diego State. Greg Pruitt has already picked up 25 yards in 4 carries. Keith Wright. In as a wide receiver for Dave Logan. He goes to the 33-yard line, should pick up the first down. Ed Taylor makes the tackle.
Charlie, Doug Deacon and Henry Shepard really coordinated well. They didn't pick up a lot of yards, but when you're throwing a quick screen, you have to get the left side of your line out if you're throwing to the left. They both got out real well. Deacon turned around, picked up the pursuit. Henry came out and picked off the cornerback, and that's how you make things go.
And with that pass, Brian Sipe now joins 6 other Cleveland Browns. Over 7,000 yards career passing. Not bad for a surfer from Southern California. Here's Greg Pruitt. A couple of yards to the 35. 2nd and 8. Lawrence Pillars makes the tackle.
And the funny thing is, Charlie, so many people say, what is it that's Brian Sipe's weakness? And when you really think about it, it's just that he's not 9 feet tall. He doesn't run around with a big stick because the guy can do everything. He's not the prototype quarterback, the kind that's 6'4" with a big, strong arm and has a loud voice. He's just very effective. Get people around him who can execute, and he will bring them as far as they can go.
Second half of the doubleheader. Most of the country to see Oakland at Miami. Another big game on NBC leading to the Super Bowl. Sipe to throw, 5 on the pattern. Pulled down by Greg Pruitt. Pruitt having a fantastic afternoon. 48-yard line, first down. Bobby Jackson makes the tackle.
It's still very early, and he's made a few key plays in both drives. That they know they have to throw the ball early against these fellas, and when they do, they're going to give themselves protection. They put two people on Salam, 2 people on Klecko. They took their 3-man line, made it ineffective. It gives you enough time to throw the kind of balls you want.
Now, Brian told us before the ball game he feels they can run against the 3-4.
Well, that's fine. He can if their offensive line moves people out of there, and they're doing so right now.
Greg Pruitt. Miller, the lead blocker. 49-yard line of the Jets. Gain of 3. Second down, 7.
This is a tough play when you're playing a 3-man line. To force the play up the field, keep Deacon from pushing you off the line of scrimmage, allow your linebackers to pursue. In this case, he allowed Martin to pursue, forced the play in, and the pursuit picked up.
Joe Klecko this year has 9 sacks, 8 last year. 2nd and 7 Cleveland. Quick screen, Keith Wright. Right to the 43-yard line. About a yard shy of the first down. 3 minutes, 53 seconds time remaining. We're in the first quarter. The Browns leading the Jets 7-0 as Ron Bolton picked up a Wesley Walker fumble, returned it to the 31-yard line of the Jets. Cleveland moved in to score the touchdown. No score first quarter, Buffalo and New England. If New England wins, they are in the playoffs. They're 5 minutes into that ball game. Calvin Hill is in, and 2 tight ends are in now for the Cleveland Browns. Calvin Hill, first down.
If he can get to the line of scrimmage, he can lean for 2.5 yards.
He just doesn't age, does he?
Old folks is playing pretty good.
You like that. First down, Cleveland. they've been able to consistently move on the Jet defense this afternoon. Hill comes out, Pruitt comes back in. Remember what a big to-do they made over Calvin Hill when he was drafted by the Cowboys because he was from Yale?
Yeah, they've got about 15 players from Yale playing around the league now.
Right.
And Dartmouth and Cornell and everywhere else.
At the Jet 40-yard line, first down. Sipe likes to show play-action pass here. And he overthrows Dave Logan. Out of bounds. How's that for a call, John?
Well, the call, there was really nothing, nothing fancy about the call. He got somebody right in his face, and
I didn't mean his call. I meant my call.
You saw it. You're looking. You haven't left yet. But Bob Martin really forced the play. He got right in Sipe's face. When he did so, he had to throw the ball over the top of the receiver.
Dallas now leading Philadelphia 14-0.
And Stahl back to Dorset. Their two horses put them ahead 14-0. 8:59 gone in the first.
Second down and 10. Cleveland leading the Jets 7-0 here. 2.5 minutes, time remaining first quarter. First back through is Cleo Miller. Flecko, with some help from Salam, pushes him back. Bob Martin also in on the play.
Get the feeling the yardage is coming a little tougher now, Chaz?
Yes. Now, third down and 8. He's got to throw. What do you go to?
Well, he doesn't have to. There's no law that says he will, but I think if he does throw the ball, they'll try to exploit something on the corners because those linebackers have good drops. They put 8 men in the pass defense, and you must get to them quick.
And Calvin Hill, excellent receivers in the backfield. This is the 10th play of the drive. Started at the Cleveland 22, now at the 38-yard line of New York. Sipe, first down, 29-yard line. Going to Reggie Rucker. Bob Martin and Taylor make the tackle.
And Reggie Rucker ran a fine pattern. We mentioned that they've got to throw some to the outside. Dave Logan clears the slot out. He throws it right in between the linebacker. And Taylor puts the ball at just the right place at just the right time. And that's the only way he was going to get that first down.
They mark it at the New York 28-yard line. Second time in this drive that the Browns have converted on third down. Greg Pruitt. Just inside the 24, Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. It'll be second down and 6. We never did set the secondary for the Jets. Bobby Jackson and Ed Taylor on the corners. Schaefer Suggs and Burgess Owens defensive safety.
And I think one of the biggest improvements in their team is the play of both Schaefer Suggs and Burgess Owens at free and strong safety. These two have been covering the field very well like center fielders, and it's helped on the corners because the linebackers can go out there a little more often than they were able in the past.
30 seconds, time remaining in a fast-moving first quarter. Calvin Hill. Flecko caught him from behind. His momentum will pick up a couple of yards on the play, and that should run out the clock in the first quarter. First quarter that has been dominated by Cleveland.
Charlie, that's about as fast as I've ever seen a quarter played. This is under a half an hour. You just don't see that very often. They must know it's kind of cold, too.
They're well aware of the fact. As the gun sounds, that is the end of the first quarter as Walt Michaels looks on. The score, the Browns 7, the Jets nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter of today's game after these.
The Scarborough Cafferty Report, tomorrow night at 6.
Earlier we had a swirling wind. That has ceased. The sun has started to come out at Cleveland as we start this second quarter. Browns leading the Jets 7-0. Third down Cleveland. 4 to go on the New York 22-yard line.
At least it looks warmer now.
Yes. It's a mirage. Cleo Miller, Calvin Hill are the running back. Logan wide to the right side. Sipe looks left. Throws. Way overthrows Reggie Rucker. Burgess Owens and Ed Taylor had the coverage as Brian Sipe comes out and Don Cockcroft comes in. Field goal attempt upcoming.
He got in trouble early in the season trying to force balls that looked just like that. He saw it was not open. Owens played it perfectly. He threw it over the top of Taylor's head, everybody's head. And at least they're having to go at a field goal.
Key stat, first quarter, look to the lower right. Time of possession, 10.5 minutes. Logan to hold 29-yard line, an attempt of 39 yards. Well within the range of Don Cockcroft. It is blocked. Joe Klecko blocks the field goal attempt of Don Cockcroft.
It never got up in the air. And they had pretty good surge up the middle. When you don't get it past those linemen, the going gets a little rough, too, as you saw about 4 people climb on top.
We'll be back in a moment. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody, and Joe Klecko at work.
Well, actually, he didn't kick it quite as low as originally I had thought. However, Klecko gets real good surge, good penetration on the outside by Jackson, and that bounce may have saved a turnover touchdown because it could have bounced anywhere and there wasn't too many Browns around.
New York, first down, their own 29-yard line. They trail now, 7-0. Scott Durking. Durking to the 34-yard line. A flag is down as Dick Ambrose makes the tackle. Holding against the Jets, a preliminary call from Red Cash and the referee. Art Demas is the umpire. Ed Marion, the head linesman. Tom Dooley, the line judge. John Fouts, the back judge. Nathan Jones, the side judge. And Bill Kingston is the field judge.
You know, Charlie, as well as the Jets throw the ball, their personality is still such that Durking and Long and Gaines, Harper, they have 70, 80-yard games. Sometimes both their backs have 80, 85 yards in a game.
Holding on Chris Ward. So it'll be first down at the 19. First and 20. Robinson, a quick out. Pass is complete. Wesley Walker out of bounds. He is out at the 26-yard line. So he gets 7 back. It'll be second down and 13.
Don't want to get greedy down there inside your own 20, Charlie.
We talked about time of possession. This gives you another comparison of what has happened thus far in the ballgame, with the Browns leading the Jets 7-0. 14:41, time remaining, first half. Bruce Harper replaces Scott Durking in the backfield. They show a double wing many times in this situation. Here they go from the eye with Bruce Harper carrying. He'll lose a yard. Earl Edwards, the old pro in his 10th year, makes the tackle.
It was a good play by Earl, and it wasn't a bad call, in my opinion, by Robinson. You want to call a lot of change of flow plays, change of direction plays, where your people don't have to make too many cuts, and the defense does. A draw play is one of those, as is a screen, as both teams have thrown a couple of.
Clark Gaines and Bruce Harper are now the 2 running backs. Third down, 14. Robinson will have to throw. Both backs in the block. Robinson goes deep and is incomplete. Derek Gaffney could not pull it down. It'll be 4th and 14. Chuck Ramsey will come aboard to kick. Telecast this afternoon presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. Chuck Ramsey from Wake Forest, whose wife, by the way, is the women's tennis coach at the University of Tennessee, will be kicking. No breeze. Keith Wright, return specialist. The rookie from Memphis State is set for the return. 40-yard line. Fakes the reverse. He keeps. He could break it all the way to the 40, 30, and then out of bounds. Larry Keller saves a touchdown.
And Larry Keller had a tough play to make, because that play broke about as cleanly as anything I've ever seen. There was a wall with nothing but brown shirts over there. Completely fooled the Jets. They must have seen them run a reverse early. They got double guessed and came up short. Here you go. You see the fake. They've got Jets crossing each other as they form the wall over on the left side.
A return of 37 yards for Keith Wright. The 23-yard line of New York. Mike Pruitt, his first appearance on offense. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. They'll mark the ball at the 22-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Mike Pruitt not starting because in the game against Seattle last Sunday, he suffered a concussion. They checked him out. He is all right. They simply did not want to start him. Logan and Rucker, slot left side. Record-setting Brian Sipe. Has a man, it's caught! Touchdown! 20th touchdown pass of the year for Brian Sipe. 22 yards on the play.
That's just about as well a thrown and as well a run pattern as you can run. Here you go. He's trying to get somebody on the backers to split them, get somebody down the field to take out the deep corner man. He gets him on Hennessy. There's no contest once you get one-on-one with a linebacker and Greg Pruitt. 13-0.
Extra point yet to come. Cockcroft splits the uprights. The score, Cleveland 14 and New York nothing with 12:54 left to go, second quarter. Sam Rutigliano, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, his rookie year. Browns leading the Jets 14-0, and look at this. After the first quarter, Buffalo and New England, no score. Remember, if New England wins that ball game, they're in the playoff. Darnell Powell and Bruce Harper are the deep backs on the return. Cockcroft to kick off. Harper, 17-yard line. Harper to the 30. Returns to the 40-yard line. Ron Bolton makes the tackle. Now New York trailing 14-0. They cannot let it get out of hand. They have to stay close.
That's right, and they can't panic either. So, they have to start taking over the line of scrimmage. They've got a fine offensive line. They haven't had enough of the ball to find out what they can do yet. Their defense has to stop Cleveland's offense for them to get a chance to get back in.
Jets go to work at their own 40-yard line. Robinson. All alone is Gaffney. 41-yard line of Cleveland. Derek Gaffney, the rookie from Florida. Flag is down. Darden makes the tackle. Oh, Gaffney was recruited by Florida after he signed. He then helped recruit Wes Chandler, who was a running back. He said, we'll make a great combination. Little did he know Wes Chandler became the wide receiver. He sat on the bench for a while.
He is a fine wide receiver right now, and maybe his exposure or lack of it down in Florida kept him from being drafted as high as he might have been. But Tom Darden can't play the center like he'd like to. He has to be concerned with Wesley Walker.
Number 27 on the defense, unnecessary roughness, first down.
Unnecessary roughness on Tom Darden.
And we mentioned early that it might be a good day for a Gaffney or a Jerome Barkham. You can see Tom Darden coming up late, but he has to stay back.
At the Cleveland 26-yard line, first down. Let's save that replay. We'll look at it again. Robinson overthrows everybody. Look at the coverage. I believe he was just throwing it away. Gaffney and Barkham are both down there. Let's go back.
Here we have Wesley. He can fly. You know it. All he has to do is go to the post. That holds Tom Darden.
And he's alone at the post, too.
Well, he is, but that screen isn't very big, and that ball takes a while to get there. I think they could have covered Wesley, but the ball wasn't thrown there.
In case you're wondering, we did not save that other replay, so we don't need to worry about it. Wesley Walker, 2 receptions, 31 yards thus far in the ball game. Kevin Long. He'll pick up about 3. Dick Ambrose and Clay Matthews make the tackle. Mark it for 4 to the 22, and it will be 3rd down and 6.
Uh-oh. Roland Hooks has run for 28 yards with 13:21 left to play in the second quarter, and Buffalo leads New England 7-0.
If and buts were candy and nuts, all of the teams would make the playoffs this year. It's going to come down to next Sunday. 3rd and 6 for the Jets. They trail 14-0. Robinson, he is decked. Mike St. Clair with the first sack of the ball game for the Browns. They're 27th on the year.
Charlie, he counts on getting a little more time. He stands in that pocket tall. They make no effort to get outside and scramble. And when he doesn't get up to 3 or 3.5 seconds to throw the ball, his pattern doesn't develop, and that's the result.
Pat Leahy is in from the 35-yard line. A kick of 45 yards. Now, Leahy has hit 77% inside of 50 yards distance. And he hits this one from 45 yards out.
And that is to get on the board. Keeps him from being run out of the ballpark. 45 yards is equal to about 50 on a good day. That was a fine kick.
Cleveland 14, the Jets 3. We'll be back in a moment. My old alma mater, University of Arkansas, the Razorbacks against UCLA at the Fiesta Bowl on NBC Christmas Day. Larry Collins on the return. Around the 28-yard line. Clark Gaines, who has been the captain of the specialty team for the Jets in the last 4 ball games, makes the tackle. Now, there's the score, 14-7. Clark Gaines, the last 2 years, leading rusher and leading receiver for the Jets, now in the specialty teams, now the captain.
It shows you they think they have something going. And when you get everybody doing what they can to help a group, your team does better. And that's possibly why the Jets are where they are today, with a chance to get in the playoffs.
Cleveland now from their own 28-yard line. Brian Sipe has completed 5 of 7, 57 yards. Sipe, play action. Rucker. Knocked down by Bobby Jackson, 45-yard line, first down.
When you fool the linebackers, Charlie, on play action and first down, that's what you have to try and do. They've got 8 people back there playing defense. Very difficult to throw it in the holes because there aren't very many. But if you get them playing run, just for that 0.5 of a second, you can get your backs and your wide receivers down on those deep defenders. That's what Sipe did. Picked on Jackson, and they've got a first.
Reggie Rucker, his second reception of the ball game, 27 yards. At the Cleveland 45-yard line, first down. Flag will be down. There was motion in the line by the Cleveland Browns.
They're having so much fun, they can't wait to get started.
There's the call. Goes against the Browns. They get back to the Cleveland 40. It'll be 1st and 15. Ten minutes, 34 seconds time remaining in the second quarter.
Illegal motion, number 82 on the offense.
Ozzie Newsome, right side of the screen. Oops, sorry, Ozzie. Rookie mistake. He is going to be a good one. Has already made the UPI All-Rookie team. Go ahead, John.
No, you know, for those at home who know that a tight end can't move,
flag is down.
He must come to a stationary position. That's what he didn't do before they snapped the ball.
See what this penalty is about.
Second down.
The call was on left guard Henry Shepard. Refused. Second down, 14. First time in the ballgame, it's gotten a little sloppy.
Well, it's a big drive for the Jets, Charlie. It has gotten a bit sloppy. You get a little anxious sometimes when everything you try is working.
Sipe to throw. 5 on the pattern. Over the head of Dave Logan, but Logan slipped when he made his cut. So it'll be 3rd down, 14. In case you joined us late, wind chill factor here is -10. Field was frozen before the ball game. Sun is out.
You know, we mentioned that the linebackers have been able to get to the flats in a little bit better position. That time, Sipe did overthrow him, but Bob Martin took a perfect drop. There was really no lane for him to complete the ball. and they come back 3rd and 14. They've got one down to stop them if you're a Jet fan, and you can get control of the ball and get something back.
And the Browns bring in Calvin Hill. Excellent receiver. Scored the first touchdown of the ball game. 5 on the pattern. Going deep. Pulled in. Ozzie Newsome, the tight end from Alabama.
Boy, that's about the hardest pass in the game to catch. You're running blind through the secondary. The ball has taken quite a while to get there. Ozzie Newsome is recognized as a real find. Watch him get off the line of scrimmage, gets down, he's splitting through the zone. Sipe lays the ball up rather high. I'll tell you, Burgess Owens, if he'd gotten there a little bit quicker, could have disjointed Newsome. As it was, he made a great catch, and they've kept control of the ball.
29 yards. It was 3rd and 14. Remember, here's Greg Pruitt. Out of bounds. 21-yard line. Ed Taylor was chasing him. It'll be 2nd down and 1. The Browns completely dominating the first half of this ballgame.
And they're running left, and they're running well to the left. They've got good people, Doug Deacon and Henry Shepard, but the Jets have got to shut something down.
9 minutes, 40 seconds. Greg Pruitt, that's the time remaining in the first half. Greg Pruitt, 44 yards rushing in 9 carries. He has 3 100-yard games this year, and he's missed several games due to injuries. Mike Pruitt, 14-yard line, first down. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. Here's another look.
I guess he is okay. He got real good offensive line surge, didn't get any contact till he got 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Schaefer Suggs comes up to make the stop, but boy, he took the brunt of it.
Now, in this situation, a first down at the Jet 15-yard line, Sam Ratigliano has been known to throw the book out. He has run a tight end reverse for 2 touchdowns this situation.
I don't think it says in the book you can't do that.
No. And I never did figure out who wrote the book.
That's right.
Mike Pruitt. A gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. 12-yard line. Now the wind has started to whip around again here in Cleveland. And it is still cold.
That's a lovely little factor to throw in there.
2nd and 7, 12-yard line of New York. Sipe waits. Finally bumped out of bounds. Mark Merrill is the man who got him as Brian Sipe slipped out of the arms of a would-be sack.
And Brian Sipes did a lot. I mean, Merrill made a fine play just to get back into it because Klecko's got a good grip on Sipes. When he loses it, their team also loses containment. You see Merrill start to stutter step, and now he really has to bust his hump. If he doesn't, Sipe picks up a first. Now it's 3rd and 4.
9-yard line. Wide to the far side is Logan. Rucker wide to the near side. Looking to Rucker, dropping it off underneath the Calvin Hill, incomplete. So Don Cockcroft will come in. Cockcroft is 0 for 1 as a field goal kicker in this ball game, 39 yards away. It was blocked by Klecko earlier.
And Mark Merrill makes another big play to stop the drive. He gets in a little bit late, but Sipes never even sees him. He just kind of forces him to flutter the ball out there and turn it over.
Dave Logan, the wide receiver to hold. 16-yard line, a kick of 26 yards. Cockcroft has hit on the year 15 of 24. It is good. It is now Cleveland 17, the New York Jets 3, 8 minutes left to go in the first half. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody in Cleveland, where it is freezing. And Cleveland leading the Jets 17-3. Bruce Harper and Darnell Powell, the deep backs on the kickoff return. Don Cockcroft, who just booted the 26-yard field goal for the Browns, puts it in the air. 6-yard line. Bruce Harper dribbles it, picks it up 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41-yard line. Good return by Bruce Harper. Once again, the Jets, excellent field position. Gary Parrish makes the tackle. But the Jets have been unable to move against the Cleveland defense.
It's the second good kickoff return that Bruce Harper has made. Gives them good field position. They need it because they need to score badly to get back in this ball game.
Hey, you got fourth
Look at our
billing.
pals.
Yeah, but you got fourth billing.
I don't care.
New York, their own 41-yard line. First down. Robinson has time, throws. It is complete. Scott Durking out of the backfield. Close to the first down. Charlie Hall makes the tackle in Cleveland territory. Now, thus far in the ball game, Cleveland has had the ball 14 minutes and 43 seconds. The Jets have had it less than half of that, 7:05.
Good way to keep a high-powered offense in check. And
Yes.
the task is really now on the Jets' defense. Although they have to score some points, I think they will if they're given the ball enough.
First down. Robinson drops this off to Durking. Durking to the 45. That is all. Gain of 4. Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker, was there.
You haven't seen Wesley Walker being an instrumental factor.
Why not?
The reason being Tom Darden is standing over there no matter what side of the field Wesley Walker is on. Darden is shifting over to his side. Now watch as his drop starts. He just kind of slips over to the right. He's already started on the right side, slips over, keeps Wesley covered, just does any kind of backup coverage to help out after the play's thrown.
Now, one thing that Wesley Walker can do, he can outrun even your special defenses.
You think Darden doesn't know it?
All right. Bruce Harper's in the backfield for the Jets. 2nd and 7. Draw. Harper, first down. 32-yard line.
Okay, another case in point. If they can get their running backs, this time Harper past the line of scrimmage, Darden has got to be concerned again with Wesley Walker. It looks like a pass from the snap of the ball. He's scooting over. Oftentimes you'll see Darden come up and stop these kind of plays for 3- and 4-yard gains. But he's concerned. He knows the way they're going to beat him is beat him deep.
If you're going to beat them short, make them work. Take a lot of time, right? You got the lead. Browns 17, Jets 3. Cleveland 32-yard line. Pass is complete. Far side. Derek Gaffney, the rookie from Florida. Ron Bolton had the coverage at the 27-yard line. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. 5 minutes, 52 seconds left to go, first half. The Jets rushing a total of 39 yards compared to Cleveland's 76. Durking. 18-yard line.
Now they've had the ball a long enough time during this drive to get the feel of what's going on defensively for the Browns. They're starting to move the ball. They're throwing it around the infield. They're giving the ball to Durking. Couple of draw plays. And Buffalo now is tied by New England, 7-7 in the second quarter.
Sam Bam Cunningham scored. Leahy loosening up just in case. First down, New York. 18-yard line of Cleveland. They need a touchdown. Robinson is sacked. 27-yard line.
Play.
Clay Matthews got him. Second sack of the ball game for the Browns.
Cleveland does not blitz very often. They haven't too long. Gerald Irons is an excellent cover. They know Clay Matthews has great ability. I even had a chance to play about 2 weeks with his father before he retired. That shows you what age we're getting. But this guy has all the physical ability. We're going to see it one more time. He gets there before he even gets set up. Over the top of the back, into the quarterback's lap.
2nd and 18, 5 men in the secondary. 4-man run. Robinson fires on target. You wondered where he was? Well, there he is, Wesley Walker. First down. It'll be first down, goal to go.
They gave him just a little bit more time, allowed Wesley Walker to get deep behind the linebackers underneath Darden. The ball was perfectly thrown. They come up with a big play, gives them a chance to get back in the ball game. Look at the control of the body by Walker. To catch a ball going across the middle when it's thrown behind you is a talent that is very hard to teach.
Wesley Walker has been averaging 25.4 yards per reception, leading the NFL in that category. First down, goal to go. Clark Gaines is in the ball game. Kevin Long to the 2-yard line. It'll be second down and goal to go. Tom Darden saves the touchdown for Cleveland. 3:37, clock is moving. Time remaining first half. Upcoming the 9th play of this drive.
And it all started with Harper's return of the kickoff. You give a group a good field position, and they're liable to take advantage of it.
Kevin Long, and he will not go anywhere. Dick Ambrose makes the tackle. It'll be third down and goal to go. Loss of a yard.
Biggest play of the game so far, Charlie, coming up. Third down and 3. If they get the ball inside the 1-yard line, I do believe they'll have a go at scoring 6. Otherwise, I think they'll settle for 3.
Bruce Harper comes in. Durkee comes out. Robinson wants to throw. Harper's there. Has it. Touchdown.
That's what you call keeping your poise. Robinson had nobody to throw to. His back was going out. He was very well covered. Harper makes the big play again for a touchdown. But let's take a look. Dick Ambrose was in good position to cover the pass. As Robinson goes out, he knows he hasn't got much time. There's no real opening. Charlie Hall's trying to shadow box him. However, he puts the ball about the only place it can be thrown, and the Jets are back in the game.
17-9, extra point by Pat Leahy. It is good. It is Cleveland 17 and New York 10. 59 yards in the drive in 10 plays. Back in a moment. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody as Pat Leahy kicks off. Keith Wright to the 20, the 25. Returns to the 33-yard line. Ken Schroy makes the tackle for the New York Jets. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody in Cleveland. The Browns leading the Jets 17-10 with 2 minutes, 21 seconds left to go in the first half. Cleveland has the ball. First down, their own 33. Brian Sipe has completed 7 of 11 passes for 103 yards. Goes right to the air. Incomplete.
He got a little bit of pressure, Charlie, but I think it was just a miscommunication between he and Mike Pruitt. He threw the ball a little before Mike was ready. The play was open. You can bet they're coming after it. They'd like to get a few more points on the board. They respect the Jet offense, and they better.
Stay with us at halftime. We'll be updating NFL 78, all of the scores and highlights around the NFL this afternoon. Looking forward to the second half of the doubleheader on NBC. 5 on the pattern. Over the middle. Rucker has a block. He gets it from Greg Pruitt, has the first down, and is out of bounds.
Oh, baby doll. That's the kind of block you hope you get from an offensive halfback, but you very seldom get him in position to make that kind of a block. Just a beautiful hit for Rucker. Picks up the first, and they're still on the move. Okay, take a look. You can see for yourself. Rucker catches it. It's a very dangerous position for him to be in. Greg Pruitt comes back, picks off Keller. That's a little man beating a big man.
Cleveland, 46-yard line. 5 on the pattern again. Way overthrown. Under pressure, Dave Logan, he's throwing it away. 2:05 left to go in the first half. Washington, Atlanta tied now 7-7. John Rick is just scoring for the Redskins. Second quarter score. Here it is Cleveland 17 and the Jets 10. Sam Retigliano, head coach of the Cleveland Browns. His counterpart, Walt Michaels, who played 10 years for the Browns, head coach of the Jets now. They won 5 divisional titles, 2 NFL championships, and he was All-Pro 4 times. Remind me to tell you later what Walt said when he walked on the field. Here's a delay. The screen. Cleo Miller to the 50. First down. 42-yard line.
A lot more screens, a lot more draws thrown today. Get those linebackers into their drop. Makes it very hard for them to come back and cover the play. They're the ones that are most responsible for covering any sort of screens and draws. They've got their hands full.
2-minute warning, 6 seconds late will now be given. We'll be back in Cleveland in a moment. When Walt Michaels walked on the field, he said nothing ever changes here. They still don't sod the infield, and they don't take out the pitcher's mound. It's kind of the co-post to our left.
It does look like they buried an elephant out there, but they did improve the press box area.
Oh, yes, it is very nice.
Quite concerned with that.
Sipe has completed 60% of his passes. Goes deep into coverage. It is incomplete. Greg Pruitt, the intended receiver, the flag is down, along with Brian Sipe back at the 50-yard line. Bob Martin in the coverage, and Sipe comes up a little gimpy.
He got a good hit, however. I mean, Bob Martin made a fine play. They were just trying to isolate Greg Pruitt on the opposite side as they isolated him the previous time on Keller. He made a fine play. I mean, that's the hardest thing in the game for a linebacker to do, is cover a Greg Pruitt all the way down the field, and he did it perfectly.
Holding the preliminary call against the Browns. Sipe has completed 9 of 16, 127 yards, 9 passes to 5 different receivers. So he spreads it around. Here's the call.
Holding on the offense, number 73.
That's a bad combination. You take a real good lick, and you get called for holding, too.
Call on Doug Deacon. Keith Wright comes in. Dave Logan comes out as a wide receiver. Keith Wright from Memphis State. The site of our director, John Gonzalez, big man at Memphis State. Rucker shows motion. Under pressure, Sipe barely gets it off. Greg Pruitt. Pruitt to the 49-yard line of the Jets.
And he found a way to get out of that trap. I would have taken my hat off, and if Reggie Grant hadn't been there to pull him down finally, he would have.
We've got a timeout by the Cleveland Browns with the score, Cleveland 17 and the Jets 10.
All right, the great ones can turn a bad play into a good one. It's a simple little trail screen. Pruitt's out there. He's waiting. He had to wait just a little bit too long. The execution wasn't perfect. A lot of pursuit. However, he almost gets out of this trap.
Now, I mentioned the quote of Walt Michaels. Art Modell, the owner of the Browns, in the booth next to us. He had a comment during that last commercial, didn't he, John?
I don't blame him. I like it here.
I do, too. He said, wait till I go down and turn the warm water off in the locker room. 2nd and 17. Pruitt has 61 yards total offense, 44 rushing, 17 receiving. Sipe. Good protection. Throws on the run. It is intercepted. Ed Taylor with the interception.
It's a tough play to make, and he also left the Jets with enough time to do something productive before the half ends. There's a minute and 21 seconds left. Taylor comes all the way from his right cornerback position, has to trail the play all the way, and you see Sipe get out of the containment, being hassled by Klecko. He throws the ball in, hits Taylor on the dead run.
Jets have the ball on their own 25-yard line. First down, trailing 17-10, with 1:21 left in the first half. Turnovers are now equal. Ed Taylor with the interception. Ron Bolton, a fumble recovery early in the ballgame for the Cleveland Browns that set up their first score. Robinson has to move 75 yards. He goes to Walker, juggles it, drops it.
I'll tell you, he runs fine patterns, though. It's very hard to get open 16, 17 yards across the middle, particularly when there's a Tom Darden. He has to respect him. He goes down to the break point. He can either go deep or come across the middle, and he is flying when he's doing so. This ball hits him in a pretty good spot. But he forgets to hang on, and we go back to 2nd and 10.
At the New York 25. Robinson sends 5 on the pattern. Goes deep. Walker had beat the coverage by a step, and he's overthrown.
And he had Tom Darden whipped. There is no coverage that they're playing unless it's a blitz. That was not a blitz in which Tom Darden is not supposed to be deeper than Wesley Walker. But sometime during the day, give your quarterback enough time, he's going to beat you deep. Robinson had an excellent chance and overthrew him.
So it's 3rd down and 10. Robinson has completed 8 of 14, 93 yards. Bruce Harper's in the backfield. Harper, in this situation, becomes a favorite receiver. Robinson, he goes deep. Walker, they've got the coverage. It is intercepted. Clarence Scott has the interception. And he is then thrown down.
Well, you give them about 7 cents for having a go at it. They threw 2 real deep balls, one perfectly thrown ball over the middle in that drive. Clarence Scott comes up with it with 55 seconds left. But you can see Darden trailing on the play down here with Jerome Barkham. Robinson gets out of trouble. As he does so, he throws a jump center down, trying to get to Wesley Walker. Just a little short this time. He gets it picked off.
So Cleveland has the ball. With 55 seconds left to go in the first half at their own 20-yard line, they've got a first down. Browns leading the Jets by a score of 17 to 10. Sipe wants to go deep. He runs out of trouble, throws, pass is complete. Has the first down, Cleo Miller.
That is really being nifty, Charlie. When you can get out of that kind of trouble, he knew he had no case at all. He didn't just throw it up for grabs or try to get rid of it. Willing to take the lick, he got out of a problem, made a big play out of it.
He picks up 12, a first down. They take a timeout. We look again.
He was trying to go to the left. However, he was covered to the left side. They got pretty good penetration. He got out from underneath, put it where it had to be thrown, and Cleo Miller picks up the first.
Next Saturday, NFL football on NBC. We'll start it all with NFL 78. It will be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. That'll be a good ball game.
They may play 2 weeks in a row.
Well, let's see. Would they? No.
You want to get into Inman?
No. It'd be 2 weeks later in the playoffs. They would not play in a wild card situation. I don't know. It's so complicated. I know. Will you straighten it out as the wild card situation?
Yeah. What if Houston happens to get in?
Second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. Most of the nation will see Oakland, Miami. Now, depending on who wins that game, sets up a lot of wild card
throw about 45 other ifs at you.
That's right. Sipe has completed 11 of 18, 142 yards. Has a first down at his own 32. 39 seconds left in the half. Flags are down. Pass is complete. Has the first down. Keith Wright. Fumble. Jets fall on the football.
And they've still got some time left. Just about 25, 26, 27 seconds, actually.
Burgess Owens recovers a fumble, but remember there were 3 flags dropped early. Here's the call.
Number 34 on the offense was in motion. He started too quick. Penalty is declined. First down.
Motion on Greg Pruitt. Jets have the football. And as you said, John, 27 seconds remaining. Plenty of time.
Okay, he made a fine throw. Sipes was in a tough situation. He beat Martin to the sideline, but the play is not over. Keith Wright makes a pretty good reception, but you must hang on to the ball. He gets hit from the backside. And you know who made the play again is Mark Merrill. He caused him to fumble the ball. That's the third big play he's made in this half.
Turnovers now equal at 2 apiece. 44-yard line Cleveland. First down Jets, 27 seconds. First half. Both backs in the block. Going deep. Walker, he overthrows everybody.
He can't run that fast. That's using your head, however. You go back, you try to find some sort of a hole in the defense. If he gets enough time, Walker may find a way to find himself one. Any kind of crack will do. However, he's well covered by both Clarence Davis, Tony Peters back there. They come back and try again.
21 seconds. Left to go in the first half. In the backfield, Bruce Harper and Kevin Long. Walt Michaels on the far side, the head coach of the Jets. New York's record 8-6. Browns record 7-7. Both in the playoff picture. Robinson sends 5 out. Throws quickly into coverage. It's intercepted. Tom Darden has his 10th interception.
And he is far from down.
Wesley Walker is the man who makes the tackle, and Tom Darden has just set a Cleveland club record.
There are very few defensive backs that have ever picked off double digits in interceptions in 1 year. He's just accomplished that. Robinson goes back. This is what you call a hope pass. You hope you either get a penalty. He's trying to get the ball to Barkham, but even if he doesn't, there's only 8 seconds left in the half. I think it's worth the gamble.
And with his return of 12 yards, he also sets an interception return record for the Cleveland Browns.
When you get 10, there's a good chance you're gonna get that record for interception returns.
8 seconds left to go, first half. Sipe goes right back to the air. Drops this one off to Cleo Miller. Miller battles his way near the 50-yard line. He was down back at the 44 as the gun sounds. And that is the end of the spots are concerned. I believe there are a total of 10 teams currently involved in the playoff picture in the AFC. That's right, there are 10. Pittsburgh is the only one that is in the playoff situation in the AFC. And the rest, it's just a scramble, isn't it, John?
Well, I think when you start getting down to ifs, ands, and buts, you've got a whole can full of nuts in this case, and I think we're better just leaving it. If you're taking a look at it from a New York Jet viewpoint, it's very simple. Win the next 2 games, and we've got an excellent chance of getting in the playoffs. If you're on Cleveland's side, just do as well as you can, pal. Be as respectable as you can this year. If all kinds of things broke loose, we might even get a share of it. So I think they just quit figuring it out and are playing, and that's the feeling I get here today.
Wasn't it Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys who said, if we make the playoffs, they'll call us and let us know?
I don't think you have to worry too much about it. The players know their situations, but you can't concern yourself. You know, early in the game, the time of possession was all on the Browns side. They had the lead. They had about 11 minutes out of the first quarter in possession time. The game sort of evened up as it went along. They're almost even right now, and I think it's why the Jets are back in the ball game. If their defense is up to it, I think their offense will get some points.
Cleveland 17, the Jets 10 as we start the second half. Pat Leahy will be kicking off for New York with Keith Wright and Larry Collins, the deep backs on the return for the Cleveland Browns. Second half is underway, and here comes Keith Wright. And he'll return outside the 35-yard line. Now, let's look at the offense of the Cleveland Browns. Brian Sipe, Greg Pruitt, Cleo Miller. That's the backfield.
Same people, all playing well.
Dave Logan, Reggie Rucker, Ozzie Newsome, the receivers. You'll also see Keith Wright in as a wide receiver. And there's the offensive line. Doug Deacon, Henry Shepard, Tom DeLeon, Robert E. Jackson, Barry Darrow. Cleveland has the ball officially at their own 34-yard line, first down. Greg Pruitt, Cleo Miller, running backs. Greg Pruitt, Miller with a block. Springing Pruitt loose. Great block by Cleo Miller.
I mean, to tell you, the offensive line for Cleveland has started out strong. Now, the right side, Robert E. Jackson and Barry Darrow, these guys gave Pruitt a chance to allow Cleo Miller to get one block, have him turn up with no pursuit handling the play. You can see Henry Shepard's coming over trying to find somebody to block. They just cleaned out the whole right side. They've got a first down, and this game is keeping its flow.
At the Cleveland 47-yard line, Pruitt now 57 yards rushing. Pruitt is the I-back. Miller, first back through, quick opener. Back-to-back first down. 36-yard line of the Jets. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. Defense for the Jets. On that front three, there's been a change at left end. Now, Greg Robinson has replaced Lawrence Pillars. Abdul Salam in the middle and Joe Klecko on the right side. Linebackers the same, Larry Keller, John Hennessy, Mark Merrill, Bob Martin. First down, Cleveland, New York 36. Greg Pruitt. He has 4 to the 32. Second down, 6. Larry Keller makes the tackle. The Jets secondary, Bobby Jackson, Ed Taylor on the corner, Schaefer Suggs, Burgess Owens at the safeties. 32-yard line of New York. Second down and 6.
This is the way Cleveland started out their first possession of the ball game. Keep the ball on the ground, get all the players warm, then we'll see what we can do.
Rucker wide to the far side. Dave Logan wide to the near side. Pruitt. Fumble. Picked off in the air by Cleo Miller. Cleveland retains possession.
Man, that's what you call having the wheels spin in your favor, because as that ball was fumbled in the air, there was only one man that could have grabbed it for the Browns, that being Miller. It popped straight up in the air. There were 3 or 4 Jets around. The brown shirts came down with it. Burgess Owens was in a great position to get the ball. It just bounced in the right spot, and they keep control.
And Joe Klecko and Abdul Salam were both shaken up on the play. It'll be third down and a couple officials' timeouts. Salam is coming out. Joe Pellegrini will replace him. Double tight end for the Cleveland Browns as Gary Paris comes in.
Yeah, they need Abdul in there. He is playing good football for them. He shut him down pretty well in the second quarter.
We'll try and get a report on the injury to Salam. Calvin Hill is in the backfield. Third down 2. Ozzie Newsome in motion. Calvin Hill carries. First down.
Tell you, they send Calvin Hill in on short yardage. However, you give credit to Tom DeLeon, Henry Shepard, Robert Jackson, the center of the line, just moved the center of the Jets defense back.
There's Salam, far sideline. Washington, Atlanta tied at halftime, 10-10.
Big game for both those teams.
Yep. Talk about playoff possibilities and wild cards. Calvin Hill, 19-yard line. A gain of 4, second and 6. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle.
You know, I'm impressed the way Cleveland's coming after New York. It surprised me a little bit. You know, they're 7-7. Any chance at a wild card spot, and in this kind of weather, I think they've played as well as they've played all year offensively, and it's a hard thing to do in this kind of weather.
Calvin Hill, who has 15 yards and 5 carries, comes out. Greg Pruitt comes in, second down 6. 19-yard line of New York, opening drive, second half. Browns lead at 17-10. Cleo Miller. Miller cuts back. Miller to the 5-4-yard line. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. It'll be first down, goal to go.
Offensively, they are really ripping the defense of the Jets apart up front. A guy like Cleo Miller and Pruitt, they can pick up yardage for you if you give them a crack. Their linemen have been doing that, forcing the defensive backs to cover. I mean, Burgess Owens is there to cover passes. When he has to make fine tackles to save touchdowns, their defense is hurting.
Just inside the 4-yard line of New York. First down, goal to go, Cleveland. Calvin Hill is back in the lineup. Fake to Hill. Sipe throws it up for grabs. Almost intercepted by Joe Klecko.
Bob Martin had nobody covering him. Just as Sipe turned around, Martin was standing right in his face, and Brian made an error. He tried to get rid of the ball to keep from losing 8 or 9 yards, lose their opportunity for their drive-scoring touchdown. When he did so, he threw it right into the defense of the Jets. They let a big opportunity get away. You can see Martin just getting away from the center, who has to pull, trying to get a piece.
Here is the almost interception by Klecko. Second down, goal to go. Rucker in motion. Miller. He may lose a yard on the play. It'll be third down, goal to go. Bob Martin, very heady linebacker for the Jets.
And Mark Merrill was there at the right time again.
Well, the Cowboys continue to do it. They're tough.
I tell you, both Pittsburgh and Dallas are playing real well at the right time.
You like that matchup in the Super Bowl?
Well, no, I'm not picking. There's
Thought I'd ask.
There's too many cats still alive.
5-yard line, third down, goal to go. This is the 10th play of the drive. Sipe. It is there.
I don't think he got it to him in time.
Out of the edge of the end zone. Dave Logan could not pull it in. There was a flag drop back at the 13-yard line. And Logan has yet to come out of the snowbank.
It's very icy up there. If it was soft, you could have lost him.
The pass is incomplete. We'll go back to the flag.
You know, even though the pass did go incomplete, it amazes me how receivers keep their attention on the ball as long as they do with the debris that surrounds the end zones in a lot of these parks. They come down hitting head first, all different kind of ways, but usually with the ball.
Holding against Cleveland, it is refused. Cockcroft is in, field goal attempt. Cockcroft in this ball game, from 39 yards out, had it blocked. 26 yards away, he made it. This will be an attempt of 22 yards. Logan to hold. It is gone. Cockcroft now has booted 2 field goals. The Browns lead the Jets 20-10. 9:51 left to go, third quarter. The drive to the field goal took 5 minutes and 9 seconds of the third quarter.
Looks like a replay of the first quarter. They started out, kept the ball on the ground, did the same thing at the start of the second half.
Cockcroft's kick is low. Clark Gaines picks it up at the 30. Gaines returns to the 43-yard line, where New York will move on offense.
Looked like a simple play by Gaines, but handling that ball that was going along the ground could very possibly have been worth about 20 to 25 yards.
Offense for the Jets. Matt Robinson, Scott Durkin, Kevin Long, that's the backfield. The receivers, Wesley Walker, Derek Gaffney, Jerome Barkham. Offensive line, Chris Ward, Randy Rasmussen, Joe Fields, Dan Alexander, and Marvin Powell. First down, Jets, their own 43-yard line. They're down by 10 points. Robinson throws. Walker drops it at the 41-yard line, and he was in the clear.
He has run the same pattern across the middle off play action or straight drop back passes 5 times. He's been open every time. Robinson's missed him once, hit him the other 4. He's dropped 2 and fumbled 1. Now that play is still there, but you must execute.
Second down 10. New York, their own 43. 9:40 left to go, third quarter. Kevin Long. He'll have 3 yards to the 46. It'll be third down 7. Earl Edwards makes the tackle. Here's the defense for Cleveland. Mike St. Clair, Earl Edwards, Jerry Shirk, Mac Mitchell, front 4. Linebackers, Charlie Hall, Dick Ambrose, Clay Matthews. Secondary, Ron Bolton, Oliver Davis, Tony Peters, Tom Darden. Bruce Harper replaces Scott Durking in the jet backfield. Third and 7. Robinson. Intercepted. Oliver Davis. We had to wait as he juggled it and juggled it and juggled it one more time. Gaffney was the intended receiver.
But he finally came down with it, and again, it was an execution problem. They're not quite together when it comes to executing. Gaffney was there. He overthrew him a little bit, and that's another costly turnover. We mentioned execution problems. Clay Matthews is into his drop. Derek Gaffney makes a fine break, gets right in behind Matthews. Robinson lets go of the ball at just the proper time, but the wrong jersey. And they've got a 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line with a 10-point lead, and that's important.
3 interceptions and a fumble recovery for the Cleveland defense. Browns with a first down, their own 36. They lead 20-10. Cleo Miller. He'll get a couple of yards. It'll be second down 8. Abdul Salam, who's back in the ball game, and Joe Klecko make the tackle. The Jet defense, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery. Turnovers are 4-2 in favor of Cleveland. 8:35, time remaining, third quarter. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. For those of you watching the New England game, welcome to our telecast. Understand there are some technical problems. We'll be updating you here. Cleveland leading the New York Jets 20-10. 8:15 time remaining. We're in the third quarter. Browns have the ball. 2nd and 8, their own 38-yard line. Brian Sipe to throw. Pass is low. It'll be incomplete. Bring it back to the 38-yard line. It'll be third down and 8. Dave Logan, the intended receiver. John, first quarter, to update those watching the other ball game, dominated by the Cleveland Browns. Second quarter, Jets got back in the ball game. Cleveland led at halftime 17-10, but the Browns started all again beginning of the second half with ball control.
And they haven't been able to run the ball as effectively as they did in the first quarter, but still effective enough to put 3 points on the board. Brian Sipe has just come off with a play-action pass. He has people open when he's in a position to call those type passes. This is not one of those situations.
Third down and 8. Keith Wright replaces Dave Logan as a wide receiver. Greg Pruitt slips, extra burst of speed, has the first down, but fumbles. Jets come up with a football.
I was not in a position to see it, but Greg Pruitt made a fine move, got a bad break that time actually, because when you get hit that close to the sideline, the ball generally pops out of bounds. I'll be looking at it for the first time, just as some of you, but
watch Joe Klecko.
And look at the people he has in front of him. Makes a good cut, goes to the outside, got about 3 yards left before the sideline enters into play. The ball stays there. Good break for the Jets.
Jets have the football. We'll be back in a moment. Joe Klecko with a fumble recovery early in the ball game. He blocked a field goal attempt by Don Cockcroft. Jets have the ball, their own 49-yard line. Robinson has completed 8 of 19, but he has been intercepted 3 times. Pass is complete, 35-yard line of Cleveland to the rookie Derek Gaffney.
Plenty of time for Robinson to allow Gaffney to get down there and make a good break behind the linebackers. Robinson puts the ball where it should be thrown. Gaffney knows there's a problem behind him and gets downward safe.
And again, for those of you watching the Buffalo-New England game, as soon as we work out the technical problems, we'll be switching that part of the network back to that ball game. Robinson drops it over the middle, incomplete. He was going to Jerome Barkham, the tight end.
It was a play-action situation, 1st and 10. Clarence Scott had very good coverage on Barkham. They've watched him a lot more closely today than I anticipated, Charlie. We haven't seen him a big part of the offense as he has been in the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Now, you mentioned at the top of the telecast that what makes Wesley Walker so great is Derek Gaffney and Jerome Barkham. Now, who do you select if you're going to put in double coverage?
Whoever I can find open, and it's going to vary throughout the game.
Yeah. Gaffney, 3 receptions, 39 yards thus far in the ballgame. Robinson, he is clotheslined, and a flag goes down. 2 flags go down. Kevin Long goes out of bounds with the football, and Robinson was really clotheslined.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what happened. Earl Edwards had excellent surge. When you're trying to get a quarterback, you're trying to get any piece you can. You're about a foot taller than the man. As Earl gets in there, he sees Robinson move to the right. He just tries to get anything he can. He gets a hold of the face mask. It flies about 20 yards up the field. It's an unfortunate break. It's not an intentional roughness. It's just that you cannot grab that face mask. You're getting any piece you can when that quarterback's moving around back there. I don't know how Robinson got the ball off and completed it on top of that.
With the penalty, the ball goes inside the 13. Here's the call from the referee, Red Casher.
Personal foul, face mask, number 66, before the pass, 1st down.
It'll be a 1st down at the Cleveland 13-yard line. Now, in that case, the penalty is added to the end of the play. Complete pass to Kevin Long, then the penalty is added on, taking it to the 13-yard line of Cleveland. Jets trailing by 10. Scott Durkee. And pushing was Chris Ward. Pushing back was Mac Mitchell. Dick Ambrose made the tackle.
That pushing after the play doesn't cost much. And they had pretty good surge up front. 3 or 4 yards down there is all you need. Chris Ward got off well on the ball. It gets tough down there in the pit. If you can hold a defensive end up like he did Mac Mitchell, your back can make a few.
Now, Bruce Harper's in the backfield. He has caught Robinson's only touchdown pass in the ballgame. 2nd down 6. Over the middle to Harper, incomplete. Threw it a little too hard.
Well, I think if Harper had another opportunity to look for it a little faster, he would have brought it down. However, just as he came out of his break, the ball was sitting in his face. He couldn't react to it. I think it was more a little early than a little hard.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody in Cleveland. Browns leading the Jets 20-10. 6:26 time remaining, 3rd quarter. Jets threaten. 3rd and 6. Browns 9-yard line. Barkham in motion. Robinson scrambles. Gets the pass off. It is intercepted. Dick Ambrose. 4th interception for the Cleveland Browns. Costly play.
Well, it's a costly play. Robinson got a lot of pressure just as the ball, as he was trying to throw originally. As he got out, he made the mistake that most young quarterbacks make. He knows it's a big situation. He's trying to make a big play out of a bad situation. You see 2 receivers running into the same area. Robinson really doesn't have anyone intended. He's trying to get rid of the ball, save a loss, kick a field goal. Ambrose comes up with an interception. Gaffney brings him down after a long return.
38 yards on the return. Cleveland has a 1st down. On their own 42-yard line, they lead by 10 points. 20-10, just over 6 minutes left to go, 3rd quarter. Greg Pruitt. Pruitt to the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6. Abdul Salam makes the tackle. Second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. It is excellent on NBC. Most of the nation we'll be watching the Oakland-Miami game. Now, those of you earlier watching the New England-Buffalo game, we're sorry. We're still working on the technical problems. To get cleared up, we'll be switching you back. Otherwise, stay here with us. By the way, it is still cold. Minus 10 degrees wind chill factor. Second and 6, Cleveland.
Reverse.
Sipe makes a pitch out the reverse. Newsom is tripped up. Good defensive play by Joe Klecko, and good call, John.
Well, Klecko, yeah, he made a good play. It's like the Jets know that Newsom's going to run a reverse, but it doesn't do him a whole lot of good because they don't know when he's going to run it. Sipe calls it at just the right time. They pick up 4 or 5 yards. They've got it 3rd down and 3 now, and Ozzie Newsome can run with the ball. He's a fine receiver, and I think as years go by, you'll see him being a real big personality for Cleveland.
In fact, on the year, 12 carries, 93 yards, including 2 touchdowns.
That's good.
Dallas continues to run away from Philadelphia. 3rd and 3. Pruitt. Excellent running, 43-yard line, 1st down.
He is really getting some help from all his people, his wide receivers, his backs, his linemen, and you give him an opportunity to get into the secondary just a little bit, and he's going to get the max.
87 yards for Greg. Field is frozen. Doesn't seem to bother him.
I think there are sections that are frozen, and I think there are others that are very workable. I think he's got pretty good footing. Of course, he may be living in a different world, some of the moves I've seen him make, so maybe it doesn't affect him.
1st down at the New York 43. Sipe to throw. Deep to Rucker. Has it. 8-yard line. Down at the 6-yard line. Play action on a 1st down.
And Rucker made one of the hardest catches to make. By the time you saw it on your screen, it was very easy to see. And it looked like an easy catch, but Sipe was actually throwing the ball down the field. Rucker was looking toward the middle. It went over his right shoulder. He turned all the way around and made it look like an easy catch.
Rucker, 4th reception, 75 yards.
Well, if we have this one, Kenny Edmondson, if you pick this up, he's our producer. You'll be able to see here. Okay, now you see Rucker come out of that pivot, and that is a hard catch because you're turning away from where the ball's coming from. He puts him in great position.
Kenny and John Gonzalez, our director. Don't worry about that score. We've got a big one here. Calvin Hill, jacked at the 5-yard line. We'll be updating those scores in a moment, but right now, this could be the ball game in a playoff spot.
You know, it is important, New England getting beat 17-7 by Buffalo, but this position right now is the biggest goal line stand that New York has had all year. They've worked their tails off to get in a position where late in the season they have a chance. Now they're in a situation where 2 of their top linebackers are hurt. Salam has had his bell rung, and they really have to suck it up.
There's an update on the Buffalo-New England score in 3rd quarter. Here it is, 2nd down, goal to go. Calvin Hill, Miller with a block. Hill cuts behind him, back pedals to about the 3, maybe the 2.
See, they can give up 3. That keeps them within 2 touchdowns. If they give up 6, they've got to make 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That really makes it tough.
They'll spot it at the 2-yard line. 3rd down, goal to go. What do you like here?
Well, I haven't been in their pregame strategy meetings, and I think I'll leave this problem up to Brian. I've looked to the bench for help in this situation before, but it never seems to be available.
Calvin Hill has been the key man in this situation, number 35.
Look
Fake
at
to Calvin.
Oh, no.
But a flag is down.
Little bootleg job. There was nobody in the house anywhere near sight. I don't know what the call is, but it's a very important one.
It is against the Jets.
All right. We're talking, that's the sort of thing that you don't really plan. You go in the huddle and your tackle says, hey, they're in a goal line situation. You may have talked it over with Deacon. You may have talked it over with Shepard, who played the left side. He says, hey, now. The guy says, now. That's what you get when you're calling your own plays. That's the sort of information that I always thought separated the real fine quarterbacks from the also-rans. Bryant's timing has been excellent in the last 4 games as to when to call what, and that was just another example.
26-10 Cleveland. Here's the extra point. 58 yards of the drive, 7 plays. Sipes' 3rd touchdown of the season. It is good. It is Cleveland 27, the New York Jets 10, with 1:18 left to go in the 3rd quarter. He was the only Jet fan in the stadium until we turned the camera around and 2 friends joined him.
I tell you, that's a loyal pal when he comes all the way from New York to Cleveland to sit in -10.
Darnell Powell, Bruce Harper, the deep backs, Cockcroft to kick off. Bruce Harper, 9-yard line, 50, 20, 25, returns to the 29-yard line where New York will move on offense. Randy Rich makes the tackle. John, update us on that New England Buffalo situation.
Well, I'll tell you, this is an upset. New England is not out of it. They've come back from situations worse than that before. They've got a real tough one next week. Everybody knows that. They figure to win this week. They've got a little over a quarter to pick up a 10-point deficit. Terry Miller just ran it in from 31 yards, 17-7.
Just over 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, last scoring report we have on that ball game. Robinson. Pass is knocked away. Stripped beautifully. Barkham, the intended receiver, and Clarence Scott just stripped him. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Thus far in the ball game, Cleveland has had the ball on offense almost 28 minutes. The Jets 16 minutes.
And it was pretty even starting the 3rd quarter, Charlie. They have just dominated this period.
Cleveland 27, the New York Jets 10. Just over a minute left in the 3rd quarter. 5 men in the secondary as the linebacker comes out, 2nd and 10. Robinson sends 5 on the pattern, and he is sacked by Jerry Sherman. 3rd sack of the ball game of the Cleveland Browns.
Funny how the flow dictates a lot of the play. Cleveland's defensive front line is putting a lot more pressure on Robinson. The situation dictates he throws the ball. Shirk and Edwards are putting a lot of pressure up the middle.
Back at the 21-yard line, it'll be 3rd down and 19. And if you need 19 yards, you have to go to Wesley Walker. And the Cleveland Browns know that as well as anybody.
Now, can they stop it?
Overthrown. Trying to drop it off to Bruce Harper. It'll be 4th and 19, and Chuck Ramsey will come into punt.
Here we go.
Here comes New England. Grogan scoring on the ground from 4 yards out. Buffalo 17, the Patriots 14. A minute and a half left to go there in the 3rd quarter in that ball game. We still have some technical problems up there for those of you watching that ball game earlier. As soon as we can work it out, we'll be getting back to you and we'll keep you updated. Keith Wright is set to return the punt of Chuck Ramsey. Boy, he is an excellent punt returner. Short kick. Taken at the 50 on the dead run. 6 yards on the return. Cleveland has the ball at the New York 44-yard line. Derek Gaffney. No, it was Kevin Bell who made the tackle. The punt of 29 yards.
And I do not think you'll see Sipe let up at all. I don't think he's going to try to control the ball any other way than he feels best he can. I think he'll go up with play-action passes, try to get as many points on the board.
At the end of the first half, he kept throwing.
Yeah, I think he's filed that old strategy routine.
4 o'clock ball games, Eastern time, 2nd half of the doubleheader. Most of the nation, Oakland at Miami with what's going on this afternoon. Buffalo leading New England, Cleveland leading the Jets. Who knows what'll happen in Miami? You'll find out on NBC this afternoon.
Are the 49ers definitely out?
I'm not sure if anybody is definitely out anymore. Greg Pruitt carries. I thought perhaps today would clear up the situation, the way things are going. I'm not so sure. 17 seconds left to go in the quarter. Injury timeout for the Jets. By the way, Friday was the anniversary of our producer and his lovely bride, Cynthia. And speaking of nuptials, we're losing Mike Weissman from Bachelorhood. He and the lovely Carol are getting married this afternoon.
I think it's about time. Mike made a good choice, and I'm sure they'll be happy. In fact, he's up there right now.
Yes, that's right, just about this time. Oh, she's a doll. Lovely lady. It is Abdul Salam, the injured player, second time in the ball game that he has been shaken up. The line of scrimmage marked at the 41-yard line. When play resumes, it will be 2nd down and 7. Next Saturday, the Steelers and the Denver Broncos, and on NFL 78, Endangered Species, the American-style place kicker. You know, Jim Turner, straight ahead, Don Cockcroft, straight ahead. We're losing those. And also the greatest of the great and Paul Warfield will be featured. Pittsburgh and Denver will be the ball game. Joe Pellegrini replacing Abdul Salam, who's being assisted to the far side.
I'll tell you, and he got a pretty good lick when he got taken off early. He sucked it up. He's done a fine job. He's had a fine year. And I hope it's nothing serious.
Clock now moving towards the end of the third quarter. Greg Pruitt, 91 yards rushing and 16 carries thus far. There's the gun. 3 are in the book. 1 remains. Cleveland 27, the Jets 10. Get one right quick, and in a moment I'll give you that address again. John?
Well, that's Jim Schaffner talking it over with Sam Ratigliano. Schaffner is the quarterback coach. I happened to play for him for 8 years. He was the biggest single help I had as a coach. And you know he's helped Brian Seif.
2nd and 7, Cleo Miller, the ball carrier. 37-yard line, he picks up 4. And it will be 3rd down and 3. Bob Martin makes the tackle. Now, here is that address. Tax-deductible contribution. U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980C, as in Charlie. Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts. It is code 02118. 3rd down, 3. Pruitt in motion. Screen to Pruitt. Shy of the first down. Gains a couple. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle.
You can hear the crowd saying, "Go, go, go."
There's the third quarter statistics again. Time of possession, the key stat.
And they had a big edge in the third quarter. They had it over 10 minutes, I know. And here we go. They're going 4th and 1.
36,881 on hand. Wind chill factor still -10. That's the reason for the crowd being so sparse. 4th and 1. If they run, they'll go over the left side. Like I said, Calvin Hill goes the right side, fumbles. Jets come up with a football. I thought they'd go behind Deacon and Shepard. They went to the other side, John.
I have no criticism of the call, but the one big break that New York needs at this time is some sort of a turnover. They got the ball with good field position. There's still over 13 minutes to play in the game. They need 2 touchdowns and a field goal to tie. They've come from farther behind this year, and I think there's a good chance they might.
We'll take a timeout. Cleveland leads it 27-10. Just a moment ago, Abdul Salam, knee injury. He has gone into the locker room. Jets have the ball on their own 36-yard line, 1st down. Trailing by 17 points. Robinson throws. Jerome Markham hangs on to the football close to the 1st down. Oliver Davis decked him.
And boy, is that a tough situation to hang on to the football with. He's an outstanding tight end, but that is really putting him to the test. Oliver Davis had a deadbeat on him. And here we have another one that throws a few things into a turmoil.
Yes.
Minnesota lost yesterday. However, it looks like Green Bay's giving them another shot. Chicago just before the end of the first half, 7-0.
That was Barkham's first reception of the ball game. Robinson fires. On target, 38-yard line. Wesley Walker. Cleveland territory. Flag is down. Holding against New York, so bring it back.
They need the kind of execution that they got from two of their players, but they don't need any breaks to go against them now if they're going to get back in the game. Regardless of the penalty, Wesley Walker made a very smart play. Twice earlier in the ball game, that same pattern was open, started running with it before he brought it down. This time he made sure he got it and got to the ground quick.
Holding number 79 on the offense.
Holding on Marvin Powell. It'll be 2nd and 11. Back at the New York 35. Gaffney goes wide to the far side. Walker wide to the near side. Robinson's pass is complete. Near the 45-yard line as he goes to Scott Durking coming out of the backfield. Ron Bolton with a tackle.
And Durking knew right where the first down was. He tried to bowl over the defender, but it's a sign of a good back. It's one thing to be able to catch the ball. It's another thing to know how many yards you need to get a first down, get your group back in the game.
Buffalo 17, New England 14. That game now in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter, 12-10, time remaining. Cleveland leading the Jets 27-10. Robinson has completed 12 of 27, 130 yards. He has been intercepted 4 times. That's the bottom line. Should be a first down for Scott Durking. It is. Here are the standings in the East as we started the afternoon. New England, if they can pull this off, they trail Buffalo. They will then be in the playoffs. And if this game gets out of hand here, our network, part of our network could go away to that game. We just want to alert you to that fact depending on what happens here. New York for their own 47, first down. Bruce Harper. He has 4 yards to the Cleveland 49. Second down, 6. Moving on the 11-minute mark. Time remaining in the ballgame.
I think they're in a position where they realize time is becoming a factor. I don't think you'll see them punt no matter what they do on fourth down from now on throughout the game. They have to get 2 touchdowns and at least a field goal to get back.
Second and 6. Robinson's in trouble. He throws. It is tipped incomplete. Kevin Long couldn't pull it down. Third down and 6 back at the 49-yard line. John, from a quarterback standpoint, do your hands get colder in a ball game like this? Can you keep them warm? Is it hard to have a touch, a feel?
I think while you're playing the ball game, sure, they're very cold, and the ball seems to be very hard. And there are some problems, but the situation is so important that it takes precedence.
Third down, 6. Robinson barely gets it off. Pass is complete. Bruce Harper, first down. He's to the 30, 25, 20, 10. Inside the 5-yard line. Bruce Harper.
That is some kind of play, both by Robinson, who was hit just as he threw the ball, and by Harper, who made about 30 extra yards on the play. Geez, that guy can run. He's made 3 or 4 big runs on kickoff. Let's go back and take a look. Pretty good rush put on by the defensive front four of Cleveland. St. Clair gets in there. Mac Mitchell hits him just as he throws the ball. He still has enough on it to hit Harper. And this is a pretty good move around Oliver Davis. Then he just outruns Clay Matthews, picks up a block from Wesley Walker, and turns it into an outstanding play, and they've got it on the 5.
A gain of 44 yards. First down, goal to go. Kevin Long. He gets a yard to the 4. It'll be second down and goal to go. Giants leading St. Louis 17-0. 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of that ball game. Second down, goal to go. Robinson rolling, firing, sidearms it into the end zone for a touchdown. Mickey Schuler.
Mickey Schuler was a very big target. There was nobody between Robinson and Schuler except the goal line stripe. Robinson put it the one place he had to throw it. You can see in your screen perfectly. Not a lot of room, but enough to get it in.
The big play, of course, the pass to Bruce Harper, 44 yards to the 5-yard line. Here's the extra point attempt by Pat Leahy. That, by the way, was Schuler's first reception of the ball game. Extra point is good. So now with 9:12 remaining in the game, the Jets have pulled within 10 points. Charlie Jones, John Brody, 9:12 left. The onside kick now?
Personally, I don't. They might.
No, they don't. They go deep. Keith Wright on the return. Fumble. The Jets come up with a football.
I'll tell you, there's just something about 15 rookies on a team. I don't know if they did get the turnover. The Jets think they did.
The Jets have given the signals, the officials have not.
And they're still fighting for it.
They say Cleveland has the football and the Jets are protesting. Oh, my, here we go.
Charlie, what happens is oftentimes the officials can't get into a good position on a pile-up ball, and the guy at the bottom of the pile just keeps stroking for it. Now, the Jets feel that they had control of it when it was on the ground. The only man the officials saw with it was Keith Wright at the end. Cleveland still got possession.
So once again, an official controversy strikes the National Football League.
Well, I don't know that that's so. In other words, the official can call what he sees. He can't be on top of the laces of the ball when it's fumbled. Everybody in this game knows when you get control of that baby, you better hang on.
It was Ken Stroy who thought that he had the fumble recovery. It belongs to the Cleveland Browns. They have a first down on their own 33-yard line.
Let's take another look. They're hoping for another big break. They get it when the ball is bobbled. Now, if anybody can tell who's going to get this ball, I'll put in with them.
All right. Cleveland leads by 10 points. 9:03 left to go in the game. Cleo Miller near the first down. Bobby Jackson makes the tackle. It is now New England 21-17 over Buffalo. Horace Ivory.
Horace Ivory's been a big play back for them all year. He and Andy Johnson have complemented each other very well throughout the year. New England has the ability to score points from anywhere. They've come back from 10 down. They're now 4 up, and I'll tell you, New England doesn't seem to want to quit either.
No, and if they win this afternoon, they are in the playoffs, definitely. Cleo Miller, 54 yards and 8 carries in the ball game. And here he comes again. He's got the first down. Now the Browns staying on the ground. Now they're using the clock.
Well, they have to get a bit strategic at this time, all right? They got a little on top of themselves, going for 4th and 1 down there on the 35-yard line. At that time, I thought it was a great play because they can keep control of the ball, and if New York can't get it, they can't score. At this point, they got to play it just a little bit cagey, I do believe.
First down, Cleveland, their own 46-yard line. Greg Pruitt, he'll lose a yard on the play. Larry Keller makes the tackle. And it'll be second down and 11.
Okay, little pitch out. Craig Pruitt at his best. Cleo Miller's done an excellent job of blocking for him all day, and you see his guards have been pulling very well. He doesn't really get through. Larry Keller stops it up, contains the whole play before it gets started, and the pursuit picks it up.
And Pruitt has 89 yards on the afternoon. Second and 11. 6:56 clock is moving. Time remaining in the game. Sipe to throw. Deep to Logan. Knocked away. Excellent defensive coverage. Burgess Owens and Ed Taylor. I believe it was Taylor who went over the back.
You bet. And Logan had excellent attention on the ball, too, Charlie. Oftentimes you'll see a receiver get in between two defenders, and it's very hard to keep your attention on the ball. Sipe throws the ball about the only place it can be caught. Logan has to come up with a big one. But watch, after everyone's going down, now his eyes are on the ball, and he almost got it.
Third down, 11. Dave Logan, in his third year out of Colorado, his number 3 draft choice in '76. Greg Pruitt. He picks up 4. Cleveland will be kicking as Burgess Owens makes the tackle. And Johnny Evans will be punting for the first time in the ball game. His average on the year is 38.8. He's been getting some static. He's not punting as well as they thought that he would.
Well, he's been a good kicker in the past, and, you know, that punting the ball depends on several different factors, and they feel he will be a good one, and I agree.
Good snap from Jerry Sullivan. He gets it up. It's a beauty! Harper from the 9-yard line. Bruce to the 15-20. Returns about the 24-yard line as Johnny Evans got off a super kick. On a cold afternoon, he sailed it 41 yards. We'll take a timeout. 5:55 remaining. 27-17. Cleveland leads it. 5 minutes, 55 seconds left to go in the ball game. Big one, Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, USC. Another of my alma maters there in every bowl game against Michigan. You'll be there, John, on Rose Bowl Day with Kurt Gowdy and O.J. Simpson, I understand. Pass is complete, 40-yard line. 42-yard line for the Jets. Wesley Walker on the receiving end. Oliver Davis.
And you saw the frustration on Tom Darden's reaction, throwing both hands in the air. That play has been open 6 or 7 times that they've called it today. He would like to play it tighter, but he knows, hey, folks, I better not mess around in there.
Walker, 4 receptions, 66 yards. Jets, first down, their own 42. Robinson drops this one off. Pass is complete. Kevin Long. And he is out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Charlie Hall was there. Gain of 4, second down 6.
Charlie Hall made a good play, Charlie, because, you know, Robinson never did give away that he was coming over to Long until he threw it. And he hit him on the dead run, and that's a tough play for a linebacker to make.
5 minutes, 13 seconds. Time remaining in the game. Cleveland leads by 10. Robinson with 5 on the pattern. Drills it. Pass is complete. First down. Derek Gaffney. Gaffney to the 24-yard line. Oliver Davis makes the tackle.
And I tell you, Robinson throws the ball very well in between linebackers. His receivers seem to read where they're supposed to be well, too. Both Gaffney and Walker have found their way in between linebackers. It's not always as easy as it looks. Look at the good passing lane Robinson is given. Has no problem hitting Gaffney, and he picks up a big one.
4:42, time remaining. Just inside the 25-yard line. High pass over the head of Gaffney. Now, was that intentional? Was he stopping the clock?
No, he wasn't stopping the clock. He was trying to hit him, and he really wasn't open. Hall played the play very well, got in the throwing lane. When you do that, the quarterback just sees the picture, reacts to it, and throws the ball out of bounds. If he's doing the right thing.
Both ball clubs have 3 timeouts remaining. The ball just barely inside the 25-yard line. Don't forget, second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. We'll be going there right after this, Oakland and Miami. Most of the nation will see that ball game. Second down and 10. Robinson drills it into coverage. It is caught at the 20-yard line. And that is Scott Durking. Clay Matthews was all over him at the 20.
Right, but Robinson is a very accurate thrower with a strong arm, and you give him enough time, he can throw it in the only place that a receiver could catch it.
Third down and 5. 20-yard line of Cleveland. This drive started back at the Jet 25-yard line. This is the 6th play of the drive. 3:58 on the clock. Robinson fires over the middle. Pass is complete. Bruce Harper scores. Jets are now within 4 with the extra point yet to come.
That little man has made some big plays this afternoon. He's turned little 5-yard gains into big gainers. He's turned a few into touchdowns. He is having himself one day getting the Jets back in this ball game. Watch that. Robinson hits him right on the break as he beats Clay Matthews slightly. Matthews gives him a little bump and right into the end zone. And this is a big extra point too, Charlie.
It is up, and it is good. So the New York Jets pull within 3 of the Cleveland Browns with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. As we look to the Cleveland Browns, look at this. Here's an update. Buffalo back in front of New England by 3.
You gotta predict this is the way it's going to be. Joe Ferguson, a fine quarterback, hasn't been able to get his own group into playoffs, and it's an onside kick, and New York Jets have got the ball.
It goes the required 10 yards, and Ken Troy comes up with a football. We were wondering if they would try it now. I thought it was too soon, guys.
Well, I think that both Cleveland and New York had the feeling that, hey, we might go for it. It was the bounce of the ball that dictated the turnover. It bounced up as soon as it got about the 48-yard line. The ball took a big bounce in the air, and the Jets recovered. That's what you hope for.
At the Cleveland 46-yard line, the Jets have the ball first down. Robinson has completed 19 of 37 for 258 yards. Gaffney, 70 yards receiving. Walker, 66. Harper, 67. Durking, 27. It is low. It is incomplete. It'll be second down and 10. Now, keep in mind that Pat Leahy has hit this year from 47 yards out.
That would mean they have to pick up 10 yards. One first down would put them in field goal position. However, I'm going to be very surprised if they try to go for anything like a field goal from 47 yards out. It's too cold. He made one from 45, but I think they're going to try and get it a little bit farther down the field. Well, that's obvious.
All right. Second and 10. Jets trailing by 3. Dropped over the middle. Pass is complete. Scott Durking. Durking to the 31-yard line. Now that's right on the edge of what we were talking about.
Yards, pal.
Yeah, it's right there, and it's a first down.
Lots of time to play.
3 minutes, 18 seconds. Clock is moving.
And the momentum has shifted.
Oh, Mo keeps moving around as a cold this afternoon. Robinson fires on target. It is then dropped. They will rule it incomplete. Gaffney, the intended receiver, the officials say he did not have possession. Close call.
It's a judgment call, and he can see it better than I can up here because Gaffney's back was to me. He got a good lick just after Robinson hit him with the ball. Looks like a clean reception there.
Looks like possession.
Tom Darden belted him about as hard as a man can be belted coming across the middle.
Second down and 10 at the Cleveland 31-yard line. Robinson has also been intercepted 4 times. Second and 10. Flags are down. Gaffney out of bounds.
And Jerome Barkham just missed the signal. He was trying to get in to pick up a possible blitz. He came out of his slot position, tried to get back to help his tackle. As he did so, the ball was snapped. It's a 5-yard penalty against the Jets, and a very big one.
.252 left to go. Illegal motion against the Jets. They'll take the penalty back to the 36-yard line.
Illegal motion, number 81 on the offense.
They called it on Gaffney.
Well, I just misread the number. It was still a man from the slot position trying to get in and help pick up.
Or maybe they misread the number. I'll go with you, John.
It doesn't matter. They're 5 yards farther back, and that does.
Second and 15. Officials timeout. And now they mark the ball. That's Gaffney. No,
it was Gaffney on the previous play, and he was not the culprit.
No, officials called 81. You were right. It was 83 Barton. Second down, 15. 2:52 left to go. Browns leading by 3. Robinson throws. Bruce Harper. He has been everywhere. Clay Matthews stops him.
I'll tell you, Clay Matthews has fine physical ability, but him and a Bruce Harper one-on-one, like they've been in a position of having to do several times today. They've got to cover their wide receivers and their tight end. Their backs are having a good day on the linebackers. Matt Robinson waits as long as he can, comes to Harper, and he picks up a gigantic 12, 14 yards. It's now 3rd and 1.
At the 22-yard line, Harper, 4 receptions, 81 yards. Well within field goal range of Pat Leahy. 2:46 remaining in the game. Robinson throws. It is incomplete. Walker could not pull it down.
I think one thing's clear, Charlie. The Jets are not going for the tie right yet. 3rd down and 1 yard to go. They were trying to pick up the cheese.
Here's Pat Leahy. Leahy is 1 for 1 in this ball game, hitting from 45 yards out. This is for a tie at the 2:41 mark.
Okay, I'll tell you, it's not second guessing, but I'll give you a little piece of viewpoint. I would have gone for a first down on the ground. The reason why, even if they kick a field goal, Cleveland's got 2:41 left to score.
39 yards away, it is good, and we are tied. Pat Leahy from 39 yards out, 27-27.
Okay, now Dees, you better hang in there. You gave them a chance to get back in the game. They took advantage of it. You definitely have momentum going your way, but there's a whole lot of football left with 2:36.
There is the tie. And we are looking at overtime possibilities, obviously. Do you onside kick now? No. I don't know. We said that the last time.
I'll tell you, I think they're going to go down there and put their defense to the test.
Don't forget the 4 o'clock ball games. Kansas City at Denver, Houston, New Orleans, Seattle, San Diego, Oakland at Miami. Oakland, Miami, the big one, but all 3 of the other games loom just as large as we try and straighten out the wild card situation, because almost everybody's involved. (27-27), the Jets and the Browns.
Funny how it all turned around after that 4th and 1 yard to go break with about 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Leahy kicks it off. Goes out of bounds. That'll be 5 yards, and you'll bring it back. Going into the 4th quarter, Cleveland led 27-10. And now it is 27-27. And Leahy's explaining what happened on the kickoff. It went out of bounds, Coach. That's what it did.
He shanked it. It was not an intended onside. I know that. He has hit 2 very timely field goals today.
Larry Collins and Keith Wright are the 2 deep backs on the return. That is now a final. The Giants defeat St. Louis 17-0. Sam Retigliano, the head coach of the Browns. And across the way, Walt Michaels, the head coach of the New York Jets. 2 minutes left to go in the Buffalo-New England game. Buffalo has just recovered a New England fumble. Boy, what a season this has been. Picked up at the 17 by Keith Wright to the 20. Fumble! Jets have the ball! They will score! No!
He did not score, but what a saving tackle!
Darnell Powell! Oh, boy!
I mean, when you're supposed to win, I guess things are just destined to go that way. Somehow you just can't shut these Jets off.
They have fought back from adversity all season long. Now they have the ball at the 8-yard line of Cleveland. Darnell Powell picked off the fumble in the air. I thought he would score.
Well, he would have had there not been a great saving tackle. I didn't get a chance to see the number of the men on the special teams who got him.
We'll come back to that. We'll save it. Here's Kevin Long. Oh. He gets a couple of the sacks. Now we'll go back to the replay.
Earl Edwards made a big stop. Let's take another look. All right. Keith Wright trying to make a big play for his own group. The ball goes over to Powell. We see somebody coming down the line.
Number 23.
Larry Collins.
Yes. Now the 2-minute warning will be given to both ball clubs.
That's when it's bouncing just the right way if you have a white jersey.
27-27. Second and goal for the Jets. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. Turnovers are even. Score is even. But the Jets have the ball. Second and goal at the 6-yard line. Kevin Long. To about the 1. Third down and goal to go. A reminder that both ball clubs still have 3 timeouts remaining. 1:40. Clock is moving. Time remaining. Darnell Powell, the man who picked off the fumble in the air. Oh, is he ever happy.
This goes to show you when you get a group of people thinking nobody can beat them, all sorts of funny things happen.
Kevin Long is the remaining back. Robinson was falling down. Long still scores. That is the 10th touchdown of the year for Kevin Long. The Jets now lead 33-27. First time in the ball game that New York has been in front. 1:16 left.
And there's still plenty of time for the Brownies. They're a very dejected group right now, however. You can see as Robinson comes out, he stumbles. Kevin Long does a good job of getting the handoff and a better one of eluding a tackle.
Extra point is good. It is 34 for New York and 27 for Cleveland.
This is the second time, Charlie, that the Jets have come from this kind of a deficit. They did the same thing to Denver about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it seemed to turn their whole season around for them. And once you've done it one time, it's hard to remove the feeling you can do it again.
And don't forget NFL football next Saturday. We'll start it off 3:30 Eastern Time with NFL 78, Endangered Species and the Greatest of the Great with Paul Warfield, followed by the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. And don't forget, at 4 o'clock this afternoon, the second half of the doubleheader here on NBC. Bruce Harper for the New York Jets has 16 yards rushing, 81 yards receiving, 97 yards total offense, and all at crucial times.
And it doesn't matter whether you get it at the line of scrimmage or on punts or kickoffs. When you pick up close to 200 yards for one afternoon's work, you are moving the ball.
And in addition, a pair of touchdowns. Pat Leahy to kick off. 1:16 left in the ball game. Larry Collins on the return. Collins to the 27-yard line. So Cleveland will now go to work from their own 27-yard line. First down, 73 yards away from a touchdown that they must have to tie to take us into overtime. It is now 24-23, scored on a safety. Buffalo took it voluntarily. Rusty Jackson ran out of the end zone. 1:48 left to go in that ball game. Brian Sipe goes to work. Far side. Pass to Dave Logan. No, it's to Calvin Hill. Excuse me, number 35, coming out of the backfield. Bob Martin was there for the defense. Officials will spot the ball. 34-yard line. Second down and 3. 49 seconds remaining. Sipe throws. This one is to Greg Pruitt. He comes out of bounds. That stops the clock. 42 seconds. Now remember, Cleveland has 3 timeouts remaining. John Brody has left the booth. He's working his way down to the field. We have an interview possibility. Officials spot the ball at the Cleveland 38-yard line. First down. Next Sunday, the Jets will be home at Shea Stadium. They will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Cleveland will be at Cincinnati. Quick reminder, today's telecast was produced by Kenneth Edmondson, directed by John Gonzalez. Arnold Rand, our technical director. John Filippelli, our associate director. Pass is over the head of Calvin Hill. It'll be second down and 10. Bob Martin had the coverage. 37 seconds left in the ball game. So we will try and update you on everything during the last 37 seconds and Cleveland timeouts, because as soon as the game is over, we'll be leaving you very quickly. Brian Sipe has completed 17 of 29 for 220 yards. The New York Jets trailing throughout the afternoon, turn it around in the fourth quarter. Sipe goes deep. It is there, 44-yard line of New York to Dave Logan. And now Cleveland will take a timeout. It will be a first down for Cleveland at just inside the Jet 45-yard line. Bobby Jackson makes the tackle. A pickup of 19 yards on the play. And we have 29 seconds left to go in the ball game. Pittsburgh, as you know, has won the Central Division. New England playing Buffalo. If they finally win that ball game that is ever so close this afternoon, they will clinch the division. Denver playing Kansas City. If they win, they can clinch the division. Houston at New Orleans, Miami hosting Oakland. They must win the next 2. The Jets, Cleveland, Seattle, San Diego, and Oakland all in the picture. A loss here by Cleveland could take the Browns out of playoff contention. The Jets still hang on the edge of the playoff picture. Brian Sipe from San Diego State, number 3 passer. In the AFC this afternoon, becoming the 6th Cleveland quarterback to join the 7,000-yard club. 29 seconds left. Sam Rutigliano, the rookie head coach of the Browns, pacing the sideline. Cleveland needs a touchdown and an extra point in 29 seconds to put us into overtime. Sight throws. Pruitt has it. Pruitt, 18-yard line of the Jets. Cleveland stops the clock. They have one timeout remaining. Reggie Grant made the tackle. 20 seconds left in the ball game. And what an afternoon Greg Pruitt has had. Extremely cold. Wind chill factor of -10. Pruitt, 5 receptions, 66 yards. 18 carries, 94 yards rushing. One timeout for the Cleveland Browns. The crowd a little on the sparse side this afternoon, just over 38,000 due to the inclement weather. But it is not cold to Walt Michaels. He played for the Cleveland Browns for 10 years as he sweats it out on the far sideline. The line of scrimmage will be the 18-yard line of the Jets. Brian Sipe has 20 seconds remaining in the game. Rucker wide to the far side. Logan wide to the near side. Sipe under pressure. End zone. Calvin Hill, touchdown. Now the Browns need only the extra point to tie. We've got 14 seconds left. Sipe to Hill. The second touchdown of the afternoon for Calvin Hill. His first was on the ground. 73 yards in 5 plays. Cockcroft with the extra point attempt. It is up. It's there. We're tied 34-34. 14 seconds left to go. Brian Sipe has now completed 20 of 32 passes, 282 yards, and here it is again. For Calvin Hill, his 7th touchdown of the year and his 6th receiving. Perfect pass by Brian Sipe. Cleveland 34 and the Jets 34. Field goal by New England. They lead by 2. Dave Posey, 21-yard field goal. New England 26. Buffalo 24. 8 seconds left in that ball game. On that drive, Sipe completed 5 of 6 passes. (34-34) with 14 seconds left to go. Bruce Harper and Darnell Powell are deep. Don Cockcroft, who tied it up with the extra point, kicks off. Mickey Schuler. Schuler goes out of bounds with 10 seconds left in the game. Tom London, the free agent from North Carolina State, was chasing him. And John Hey, John, welcome back. How was it on the sideline?
Feeling, what did we say? It's 1:16 left?
Yes.
All right, both teams have thrown the ball all over the field. If you think you can get back in a football game, you can. It's one of the most unreal football games I've ever seen, pal.
Jets ball, their own 43-yard line. 10 seconds. And they have 3 timeouts. That updates everything. Robinson drops it off. Markham goes out of bounds. 5 seconds on the clock.
I do not think, Charlie, that right now with 5 seconds remaining, they can get the ball far enough down the field to be able to stop it even if they get out of bounds and still be able to kick a field goal. So I do think this is the last play.
So you just go long, you throw it up for grabs, and hope that something happens down around the goal line.
I think that's their best shot.
Gaffney is wide to the near side. Wesley Walker wide to the far side. Incomplete. It is incomplete at the 36-yard line. 1 second left in the fourth quarter. Markham, the intended receiver. The Jets scoring 10 points in the second quarter and 24 points in the fourth quarter. Cleveland 7 in the first, 10 in the second, 10 in the third, and 7 in the fourth. Robinson hitting 22 of 44 passes for 289 yards in the ballgame. Third down, last play of the fourth quarter. They run a draw.
Somebody better get him.
Harper to the 20-yard line. What a ball game he has had. He almost broke it on the last play of the fourth quarter.
And now we're getting ready to have another game.
32 yards for Bruce Harper. That's the end of the fourth quarter. 34-34. And we'll be back with overtime. Well, we're going to stay with overtime.
Joe Costanza, how many yards did Bruce Harper get today? Because he has done it all.
We'll have the toss of the coin, then we'll go away for the commercial. Cleveland wins it. Cleveland wins it, they'll receive. We'll count up all of the yardage of Bruce Harper and have that for you when we get back.
The big thing is that now the team with the ball first is liable to score.
At the end of regulation play, it is tied 34-34. We'll return with sudden death after these messages from your local station. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. Overtime, Cleveland, the New York Jets, tied 34-34. Browns win the toss. They'll receive. Keith Wright is deep. And look who's with him. That's Greg Pruitt.
You bet it's no time to put your stars on the bench.
Pat Leahy will be kicking off. Quick update on Bruce Harper, the Jets. Total yardage, everything, 256 rushing, receiving, kickoff returns, punt returns. It is high and short, and Pruitt takes it on the dead run. Pruitt to the 45. Pruitt to the 50, the Jet 49-yard line.
All right, a lot of times the coach won't do that. He won't even think of it in a situation like that. Sam Retigliano kept his head. Says, Greg, let's go get him, big fella. And he took that baby on a dead run and almost broke loose of everybody. But he does have great field position. Watch this. It's not easy to catch the ball coming in on it that fast. He does, breaks the wedge, gets a little hole, and gets the ball over the 50-yard stripe down to the 49-yard line.
Cleveland at the Jet, 49, first down. And the man that got them there, number 34, Greg Pruitt. He's the I back. Miller's the up back. Pruitt. 5 yards. Second down, 5. That is a final. New England finally pulls it out. They are in the playoffs.
I tell you, it's unbelievable what's happening today. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen on one day 2 games that were as critical for 2 teams as New England and also the Jets end up the way that one did in New England, and this one is no lollygag itself.
Dave Posey kicked a 21-yard field goal with 8 seconds to go in that ball game for the victory. With this play, Greg Pruitt is over 100 yards for the 4th time this year. 31-yard line, flirting with field goal range. Bobby Jackson, Burgess Owens make the tackle.
I think it's safe to say that since the ball was kicked off from the 35-yard line, Greg Pruitt has taken the ball and is individually responsible for getting it all the way down to the Jet 31.
And you saw number 65, Henry Shepard, as a convoy. New York 31-yard line, first down. 112 yards for Greg Pruitt rushing in the ballgame. Pruitt again. Squirms loose. He's to the 20. He's to the 10. 6-yard line. Overtime color at Greg Pruitt.
I mean, that's 4 times he's had his hands on the ball. They've got it at the 6. He made a great catch in a very critical situation with 20 seconds left down on the sideline to give him a chance to tie it. He's just been too much in the last minute.
Bobby Jackson saved the touchdown, and Pruitt comes off the field.
All right, this is a play that looks pretty well bottled up. He's supposed to lead Cleo Miller. He cuts back, just gets away from Keller. In great position, almost breaks it all away. Reggie Rucker trying to give him some help.
First down goal to go, 6-yard line. Calvin Hill and Cleo Miller are the running backs. Sipe wants a timeout.
And if you notice the cagey way he went from underneath the center, he didn't want to jerk anybody offside. He just very slowly pulled his hands away, made sure nobody jumped, calls timeout, goes over to talk with Schaffner and Retigliano, and we've got a homer.
In overtime, Greg Pruitt, a 31-yard kickoff return, 5 yards rushing, 13 yards rushing, 25 yards rushing. That's his contribution. Cleo Miller.
They've opted to go for the field goal on 2nd down. I couldn't agree more, if only to help Cockcroft out. You stand around thinking about the importance of something, it makes it a whole lot harder to do it.
Cockcroft today is 2 for 3 from 26 yards out, 22 yards out. You going back down to the field, John? All right. From 39 yards out, it was blocked by Joe Klecko. This run from the 12-yard line, an attempt of 22 yards, and the win for the Cleveland Browns. It is up. It is good. Cleveland wins in overtime. 37-34. 11:53 on the timer. That converts to 3:07 into overtime. Final score, Cleveland 37, Jets 34. This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. Most of you will see the second half of our doubleheader following messages from your local stations. The folks in New York,
It's hot out there, but let's blow them off the line of scrimmage.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory.
In Cleveland, Coach Sam Retigliano has seen his team falter badly after an excellent start. Miraculously, however, his Browns are still barely alive for a playoff spot. Their opponent is the New York Jets, a team that boasts great improvement so far in '78. A Coach of the Year contender in Walt Michaels, and a shot at winning either the AFC East outright or a wild card slot. But today, the weather will be no help to anyone. It's a brisk 16 degrees in Cleveland, and gusts off Lake Erie are creating a wind chill of minus 10 degrees. Nevertheless, the Jets' hopes ride on the arm of Matt Robinson, who has helped guide his club to 8 wins, the most since 1969. The Browns' slim playoff chances are dependent on the arm of Brian Sipe, who fired 3 scoring passes in Cleveland's previous game against the Seahawks. The gusting winds will make throwing difficult, and a slightly thawing field will make footing treacherous, so this could be a game decided by turnovers. History is on Cleveland's side because in the 3 previous meetings of these 2 clubs, the Jets have never won. There will be some pad popping out there, some of it for the playoffs, some for pride, and some just to keep warm. It may look like the forbidding landscape of the ice planet Pluto, but for the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns, it's going to be Bull Run as they clash in the NFL Game of the Week. The first quarter belied the high-scoring seesaw shootout that this game would eventually become. On their first possession, Sipe drove Cleveland to the Jets' 2-yard line. From the 2, old warhorse Calvin Hill, number 35, took the handoff and leaped into the end zone. The Browns held the 7-0 lead for the remainder of the quarter. In the second period, the Jets' opening drive was stymied when Bruce Harper, number 42, looked like mashed potatoes being covered by a brown wave of gravy. The Jets' subsequent punt went only 34 yards, but was returned 37 yards by Keith Wright, number 89. Two plays later, Sipe went up top to his Mr. Everything, Greg Pruitt, and Cleveland had jumped to a 14-0 lead. A repeat shows that Sipe was enjoying perfect immunity from the New York rush and had a good part of the afternoon to unload the 22-yard scoring strike which hit Pruitt right in the gloves. Having fallen behind by 14, the Jets were now forced to the air, with Robinson hitting Derek Gaffney for 19 yards to set up a 45-yard field goal by Pat Leahy. It wasn't much, but at least New York had cracked the scoreboard. Evidently, no one had noticed the weather because both Robinson and Sipe continued to cleave the crisp air with the football. A repeat of this play shows Sipe once again pocketed as lovingly as a gold watch that is a family heirloom. Although his pass was a mite high, tight end Ozzie Newsome made a fine leaping catch, good for 29 yards. Once the Browns got inside their 10, the Jets refused to yield. All receivers were under wraps, and Sipe couldn't run it in. So a Don Cockcroft field goal made it 17-3, Cleveland. From start to finish, the Jets' next drive was practically a one-man show, with Bruce Harper showing his versatility as kick return specialist, runner, and receiver. This run was good for 13 yards, and 6 plays later, New York was threatening at the Cleveland 3. A play fake by Robinson led to a rollout, which led to a Mexican standoff with stymied Browns linebacker Charlie Hall, number 59. Robinson waited for Harper to clear, then fired a strike, which brought the Jets to within a touchdown at 17-10. Sipe wanted it back right away, and his bomb to Pruitt was flicked away at the last minute by number 59, Bob Martin, a linebacker who somehow was running neck and neck with the Cleveland speedster. With protection as good as he was getting, it was no wonder that Sipe wanted to throw. But while the Jets' rush was weak, their secondary was covering like a quilt. Forced to run, Sipe also forced a pass, which was picked off by cornerback Ed Taylor, number 38. All of a sudden, it seemed like an anarchist convention, and everyone was a mad bomber. Browns cornerback Clarence Scott defused this threat intended for the very dangerous Wesley Walker, number 85. The repeat shows that Robinson had plenty of time, a good running start, and plenty of arc. What he ran out of was arm. It probably wouldn't have mattered because Walker had enough defenders around him to start a bridge game. Once, when Cleveland got the ball, the pass protection broke down. But Sipe showed his mettle as a survivor and hit Cleo Miller, number 30, for 12 yards. 2 plays later, the Browns fumbled, and the Jets had a chance to tie before the half. But this was to be the 4th consecutive series to end with a turnover. Safety Tom Darden, number 27, scuttled the Jets' threat, and Cleveland took a 17-10 lead into the locker room. As the teams emerged for the second half, the weather was getting colder, and one had to wonder if the game plans would still call for all-out aerial attacks. The Browns answered that question right away. Pruitt's run was good for 13, and then Miller went right up the middle for 18. Next, Pruitt started a run which was graciously and luckily finished by Miller. Now, how's that for teamwork? The Browns' drive was moving in big chunks on the ground, and this Miller 15-yarder led to a 2nd and goal at the 4. Perhaps mistakenly, Sipe decided to return to the airways, but the Jets were ready with a linebacker blitz. Now with 3rd and goal, the Browns almost had to pass. The protection was there, the ball was there, wide receiver Dave Logan was there, but the field wasn't. It was out of bounds by inches, necessitating another Don Cockraw field goal, which upped the Cleveland lead to 20-10. The Jets now trailed by 10 and seemed unable to come back, as on their first 2 series of the second half, Robinson threw his 3rd and 4th interceptions. Three plays after Oliver Davis robbed Robbie, the Browns returned the ball on their 3rd fumble of the game. And for a time, Robinson had the Jets moving goalward. New York managed to hold on to the ball long enough to reach the Cleveland 9, although Robinson almost lost his head. Despite an obvious face mask penalty, Robinson managed a completion to Kevin Long that, combined with the penalty, carried New York deep into Cleveland territory. But from the 9, Robinson again got pressure, managed to escape with his head this time, but then threw like he had lost his mind, right into the hands of middle linebacker Dick Ambrose. Ambrose's interception created quite a turnaround. Instead of New York possibly closing the gap to 3, Cleveland would increase their lead to 17. Ambrose carried his interception out to near midfield, and Cleveland would quickly turn his turnover into a 27-10 lead with a big play, a 33-yard completion from Sipe to Reggie Rucker. From the 2-yard line, Sipe's excellent fake sucked in right linebacker Bob Martin, and the Cleveland quarterback had an easy path to 6 points. Heading into the fourth quarter, Cleveland was clearly king of the mountain, holding a 17-point lead against the Jet offense that seemed bent on self-destruction. But 3 plays into the fourth quarter, the Jets claimed their 3rd fumble recovery, and Robinson immediately and almost exclusively went to the air as the whip-armed kid quarterback would throw 20 passes in the fourth quarter alone. With 6 passes on a 9-play, 64-yard drive, the Jets began a long uphill climb to overcome a 17-point deficit. A 44-yard effort by Bruce Harper carried the Jets to the Browns' 5-yard line. Robinson called 1 run, then his 9th pass, and when it safely arrived in Mickey Schuler's hands, the Cleveland lead was down to 10 points. There was little celebration, for there was still much to be done. Just over 9 minutes remained, and New York trailed by 10. After holding the Browns, the Jets set out to cut the Cleveland lead even further. A 6-play, 75-yard drive consisted of 6 passes, 5 of them complete. The final one from 20 yards out that Harper turned into a touchdown with another good effort. 5'8", 180-pound Bruce Harper was a little man making many big plays. Another look at Harper's score reveals that he turned an innocuous-looking pass into a touchdown by breaking several tackles along the way. The Jets now trailed 27-24 with almost 4 minutes left, and New York's next order of business was an onside kick that they orchestrated perfectly. Pat Leahy bounced the ball just right over a Cleveland up man and into the hands of Ken Schroy. Robinson then put up 6 more passes but connected on only 3, and New York settled for a field goal to tie the game at 27 with 2 minutes 36 seconds left. 156 seconds that would produce 2 more touchdowns and 150 yards of total offense. On the wildest play of a wild game, Darnell Powell recovered Keith Wright's fumble in midair and returned it to the Cleveland 8-yard line. The Jets would quickly take advantage and score their 24th point of the fourth quarter, turning a 17-point deficit into a 7-point lead in just 8 minutes. But first, another look at an amazing turn of events. On the kickoff, Wright was beginning to cut back across the field when Tim Maresco stripped the ball away, and it flew directly to Powell, who returned 23 yards in the other direction. A shoestring tackle by Larry Collins momentarily saved the Browns, for Powell had a certain 6 points otherwise, and Collins' tackle very nearly turned out to be a big play. It took New York 3 cracks from the 8, and as we shall soon see, Kevin Long's touchdown almost didn't happen. The Jets now led 34-27 with 1:15 to go. And Long's 1-yard run is worthy of a second look. The Jets could very easily have lost the ball as Robinson made a, shall we say, awkward handoff. The Jets' incredible comeback was almost complete. They now led by 7 with 76 seconds left, and Cleveland 73 yards away from a tie. But suddenly, Sipe was hot again as he hit on 5 of 6 passes, the biggest a 26-yarder to Greg Pruitt. It carried to the New York 18 with 14 seconds to go. It was to be the first of several big plays by Pruitt, as it set up the tying touchdown on a sight pass to Calvin Hill, and the game took yet another incredible twist. Browns had staged a comeback every bit as dramatic as the Jets. After blowing a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter, it is extremely difficult to rev up again. The Jets were filled with comeback adrenaline. The Browns almost visibly went limp, yet somehow Cleveland fought back. Sipe's pass to Hill was perfect, dropped just over John Hennessy while giving Hill room to catch it inbounds, and it was overtime time. Hill has personally completed quite a comeback himself. The former Cowboy and Redskin had retired and was not in the Browns uniform until mid-season. Yet he had scored his 7th touchdown of the year with another critical catch for Cleveland. This, of course, was his biggest so far, for it tied the game at 34 and sent it into overtime. A fitting conclusion to this amazing game. The Browns won the crucial coin toss, and as so often happens in a moment of high anxiety, a star comes to the fore and takes the situation in hand. In this instance, the man of the moment was Greg Pruitt, who in the overtime period quite simply was the Browns' offense. To his 31-yard kickoff return to midfield, Pruitt added runs of 5, 13, and 26 yards on consecutive carries, and moved Cleveland into winning field goal range. Pruitt's 26-yard run set up Don Cockcroft with a 22-yard field goal that, if good, would certainly be the final comeback in a game full of comebacks and bring victory to Cleveland. Cleveland's overtime victory knocked the Jets out of any chance for a postseason game. Cleveland, despite its win, is also out of the playoffs. But the playoffs were not really the question today, as both teams actually only had an outside chance anyway. The Jets-Browns game was just plain exciting, with almost 900 yards of offense. Other games clearly had more strategic import, but New York versus Cleveland was just as clearly the best game of the week. Final score, Cleveland 37, New York 34.